Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks. And I shouldn't have done that because oh my God, I do this every single time. The other computer's always got volume on it. We're going to talk about alien grace tonight. There's no way of pussyfooting around it. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about them little bastards with the big black eyes. But I have to just tell you all now, if for some reason it looks like I'm being anally probed, I've just been demonetized in this whatever you call it, live stream, it's because I've done my back in. I've been off work for 3 days. My boss is probably even watching the show. I told him I was still doing a show. Oh, my wife has even left me a message on my keyboard saying, love you, Quasimodo, which is nice. But without further ado, forget my back. We'll put that aside. But if you do see me making funny faces, that's why. I'm just pre-warning you. The back's destroyed. Welcome, must-see audio to the show. GUFON Radio. Just GUFON. It's just GUFON, Rich. It's just GUFON. It's just GUFON. How many times do we want to say that? And John, wreaking havoc. Welcome to Alien Addict. How is everybody?
How's everybody doing?
I heard someone say anal.
What's up, Quasi?
Yeah, well, it's funny when I first looked at this message that was on my keyboard. I won't lie, the drama. I just thought I'd leave it there just to kind of put a bit of drama in the YouTube video. But she did actually do this. I thought she'd put "Love You Cuisine," just because of the dyslexia. Cuisine mod. Like I thought, what the hell's a cuisine mod? But, there you go.
Microwave dinner.
I love you so much, food.
That looks
Rich,
like, yeah, me.
I'd say a little bit disappointed in you this evening.
Me
because
too.
we are not talking about parallel universes. We are not talking about Stranger Things. Where is the greys in your background? I'm even rocking a bunny rabbit, and we all know what that really is.
Yeah, that's an alien. You know, I will get that up. I just thought Stranger Things would have been good, but
No.
Just give me a minute. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
It's a bad sign when your bottle opener has become blunt over 1 year.
It's become what?
Blunt, not James Blunt, not like
dull.
Blunt, blunt. Is that not an American word, blunt?
Dull. It is, but blunt means like, you get hit with blunt force, or you smoke a blunt.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, well, Lee, do you say that over in the, is it the Isle of Man or Isle of Wight?
We're close. We got the same language. It's all the same.
Okay. You say the same thing. Something's blunt. It's not sharp anymore.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Dull.
Yeah. Dull. Yeah. There you go. That's better. Much better.
Is that good?
Yeah. I don't
Lou Elizondo in high school.
Is that really Lou in high school?
Yeah.
It looks like he's smelling the back of your chair.
Look.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I hate this backwards camera shit.
Yeah.
You gotta go left and go right.
He's a handsome man.
You think?
No,
yeah.
But I mean, his eyes like a bit
dork.
So it's all got a bit Bell's palsy in the eyes.
Dork.
Oh.
And he's got a landing strip on his chin.
I believe the technical term for that is a clit tickler.
Yeah, that's the technical term.
Speaking of click ticklers, click the I'm not going to repeat what you just said there, Lee. It's absolutely disgusting. I would never say anything like that on my own show.
I wouldn't.
So disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
Can't believe it.
Click subscribe and click the bell. If you just even if you've not seen any of the content yet, it doesn't matter. You'll enjoy it. Trust me. And hit the like. There you go. Love it. Self promotion there. But we We're here to talk about the little green men or the grey men. They used to be always green, but now they're grey.
Mhm.
John,
Yes,
are we ready to talk about little green men?
I think so.
Rich, little
I'm ready.
luminous,
I like
little
that picture,
luminous,
Rich.
and Lee, I'm glad that the sound quality is a lot better in your child's bedroom. I have to say,
It's great, isn't it? I want this from my bedroom.
I keep asking the wife if I can decorate the living room like that, but it's just not gonna.
That would be awesome.
I really miss having my own space. Oh well.
It's great. I do
So
whatever I want. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'd rather be
no,
married and have kids.
no, you really wouldn't. But
No, I won't.
appreciate.
I don't.
No,
You're right.
I appreciate you saying that. Oh,
No,
thank
no.
you very much, Sleep Drone. That's what I could do with a drone to sleep in. She's given us a one-up super sticker. Don't you wish that StreamYard, Rich, would have the feature to show the sticker?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do it.
It's
Weird.
probably a lot of programming, but thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I appreciate that very much. So boys, I mean, John, I definitely want to go. I was going to say go into you, but that sounds
Huh?
I'm outta here.
that sounds like something that they do.
Damn it.
I
I can't find the picture to get over in the corner. Sorry.
that
go
looks
ahead.
like it looks like an alien Hitler. That.
It does.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, leave it. I like it. That's the one. That's definitely the one, Rich.
I did not see that coming.
That's funny.
Zieg Fugel. Brandon Fugel from
Okay,
Skinwalker.
let's start there. Let's start right there. Do you think the Nazis knew about the alien greys? There we go.
John.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they've been known about for a very long time.
That was just off the cuff as well. Just off the cuff. But the thing is, and here's the thing with the war. I know we're not supposed to speak about the war, but right after that war, something happened in Roswell. There was a crash with a crashed alien spaceship that they said we have a flying saucer in our possession. Then they totally redacted? Is that the right word? The thing the next day and said it was a weather balloon. But what if that was a Nazi craft that actually crash landed in Roswell? And what was actually on board was not alien. And the reason why they got excited and said, oh, it's alien, maybe the fact that it wasn't alien, it was something completely different, maybe some different technology. That's why they retracted it.
I don't think that makes sense personally.
No, neither do I. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the first time. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Lee.
I was just going to say maybe it was the first time what we've just had with UAPs, but it's the opposite way around. You know, it's something came out, we thought, oh, that's something, and then it all gets denied again.
The thing is, what came out of the Roswell crash is lots of stories, lots of different interviews, lots of documentaries, and of course, we had in 1995 we had the alien autopsy, which was exciting at the time. I have to say, I mean that got me hook, line and sinker. I had to censor the penis, the whatever the bud, whatever it is. But
I bought it.
I did. I definitely bought it. I actually bought the magazine, but I think my wife may have binned it. Oh, she hasn't. Show it off in every single video. I might give it away. I might do a giveaway show. Actually, no, it's probably worth a bob or two. But I bought this back in that. I was 15 years of age. You know, looking at naked aliens at 15.
I had the VHS.
I had the DVD.
Yep, me too. Me too. Was the DVDs out then?
No, I just have the DVD.
No, you know that Rich probably was actually DVDs out there in 1995.
95? No? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they had DVDs, but they were big, called laser discs.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, they did. They had DVDs.
So these creatures, whatever they are, everybody reports on them. Everybody all over the world reports on these creatures. And it would be probably disrespectful to you, John, to say that people are just reporting on these creatures because that's what everybody reports on. Because in your mind, in yourself, that is what you saw back when you were 15 years old,
Mhm.
which would have been probably 1995.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But you say that they don't really look like what these people are telling it. So this is not what it looks like.
Not what I saw, no. Not even close. But I believe there's different types. I don't think there's just one, you know. I mean, the ones I seen had like a type of brownish tint to their skin, so they weren't like a complete gray. So what I could have seen could have been different than somebody else, you know. Because there's people I know that have similar stories as me, and their descriptions are always a little different. You know, maybe the color of their eyes might be different, or the shape of their head, or something's always a little off, but they're mostly similar. But some of the details are always a little off sometimes.
Just like people.
Yeah. Just like people,
Different
Rich.
shades of people. Some people have a crooked eye. You know, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But those grays don't have hair or stubble. They're pretty much clean of hair.
Yeah, definitely. And what I've seen, I tend to lean towards the idea that they were like created.
Like clones.
Yeah, pretty much, or like a cyborg or some type of robot, something along them lines. Because when I first saw them, there was like zero reaction the whole time I looked at them. Like they didn't budge or nothing. So to me, it had the impression they had like no emotions or feelings. Like it was just like a blank stare and zero movement. There was no like sway to their body or nothing. They were just like stuck in that position, just staring at me. And I always thought they were created because of that reason.
It's almost like they're bored. It's like they've done it so much, it's just routine to them.
Yeah, I mean, they had the most blank looking face I've ever seen, you know, zero emotion or anything whatsoever, totally blank.
How do you know that was real?
I couldn't have been any more wide awake. You know, I was like 5 minutes out of the shower. The lights on were in my room. I was sitting straight up, and it happened maybe a minute, you know, once I got into my room. I want to say my window was probably 4 feet away. So they were 4 feet from me. And like when I made eye contact and stared at them, like, you know, it was definitely real. It was something that was definitely there. And, you know, it wasn't like a person or somebody with a mask or anything like that, you know.
But the argument is sleep paralysis, lucid dreaming, and then on the other side is this doesn't exist. But why don't we envision something different, like a Greer thing?
So I'm just saying thank you to Elena for the $5 super sticker chat thing.
But what? Thank you, Elena Ianu, with a $5 super chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, John? Right, guys? I mean, people are seeing grays. They're not seeing Bigfoot coming to abduct them. They're not seeing three-headed monsters. They're seeing this type of. Why is it this? Because there's no proof. All right, we got all these stories, but no proof. None.
But I think I got a good amount of proof.
Nope, you don't.
Personally.
Nope.
In the
personally, what you believe is proof, but not in the scientific world, because you can't repeat that stuff, can you? Can you capture it and analyze it and study it? only on video, but not
Only
in your
on video,
hand.
yeah.
So that's the problem with a
Well,
lot of the evidence.
I think that's always going to be a problem. I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
Why?
You know, like I'm not going to, like, no one else has gotten, like, you know, definitive evidence yet.
No.
And I
But
think
why is it done this way?
I think this is like a process. I think we're just part of a process. This is just how it always been. It's how it's supposed to be. It's how it's going to be. Whatever they are, they're doing what they do. That's how they interact with us. I think that's just how it's always been. You know,
Not-
they're
no.
sneaky. Like, I don't know if they don't leave like barely any evidence behind. They don't get detected. Like, it's very sneaky, scientific type thing. I think is what I get out of it. You know,
Why don't they take us do something else? Why is it always a medical type of procedure or just staring at each other? Take me somewhere. Let's go to another planet. Show me what it's like to be on another planet and you're in where they live, or you know what I mean?
if I had to guess, it's just you know, it's like their job.
I guess.
I believe some way, shape, or form they created us at some point, some type of being, and I think this is still part of that process. You know, if something created us, we could be like sheep to them. Like, they're just plucking us, doing a couple of tests, throwing us right back in with the herd.
John,
and
if you
most of the
don't
time, people
mind,
don't remember. Yeah.
I was going to say, can I show some of the markings that you've sent
yeah.
me?
Yeah, you should share whatever you want, man.
Cool.
So, I mean, you speak about it quite calmly now, as if to say, you know, this is just what they do. They do little medical things when they come out. But
real quick, this picture is the same mark. Like, the one on the left ended up looking like the one on the right. The bruises.
what this
Right.
turned into that?
The one on the left turned into the one on the right within 24 hours. And those two were the same day. They actually happened right before I went on Rich's show for the first time.
See, it looks to me like you were playing family softball and you got caught like getting hit with the ball in the leg on your one of your that leg with the bruise, and then these marks are just from rough play sliding into the base. That's just me thinking like, come on, that's interesting.
Well,
that mark there, I get it, but
I'm not like I'm not like a freaking idiot. Like, I can tell if I have like I'm saying, like, you know, everyone knows I have a physical job, so I can tell if I get hurt at work or if I wake up the next morning with holes in my leg. Like, if I wasn't,
think you can.
If I wasn't confident about it, well, what other explanation can you think of? No,
I wear jeans.
I wear jeans like 2 times a year. I hate
but I genuinely have random injuries all the time.
These aren't injuries. These are holes down to my bone. These are like puncture wounds that form 90-degree angles and like patterns on my arms. You know, I think up to now I have like 7 pictures and I have 3 scars on my body. If I thought for 1 second it could have been anything else at all, personally, I would never tell you guys. But I ran through my brain so many times. So someone said on my knee, all those holes, it could be bugs, right? So you're gonna tell me a bunch of bugs got together and traveled to my knee together? You know, like that wasn't there the day before. You know, I wear shorts at work every day. I see my legs all the time. Like, I just woke up, I went down to tie my boots. I looked at that. I just shook my head and continued on. Like, if I thought it was from something else, I would never tell anybody. I'm not about putting shit out there that's fake or, you know, misidentified or whatever. Like, you know, and a lot of these markings are paired with dreams I had the night before or other stuff. Sometimes it's frustrating, man, because like the ufology is literally my life. Like, I live this every single day. As far as the paranormal and everything else you think of, like, that's literally the life I live. And like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just pumping out evidence, and it's just it's never going to be enough. You know what I mean? It's kind of frustrating. Like, I think if I had a video of an alien sticking the freaking glass rod in my leg, I don't even think that would still matter. You know, it's this frustrating subject. It's like the subject was corrupt from the beginning. It's hard for people like me to share this stuff because people just don't believe it. I just don't get it. You know, to this day, people will say, "Oh, it was a dream. You saw aliens." I've seen them, dude. They're like right in front of my face. There's like no way around it at all. And you know, I don't know. I think personally, I'm still getting taken, and it feels like more than usual the past few months. I've just been having. I mean, Rich, you've had crazy dreams before, right? Where it feels like it's not a dream. You're not sure.
Yeah, they seem. I have lucid dreams. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, to me, it's the same, but it's like I'm waking up in my dreams somewhere else for like a few seconds, and then I don't know. It's just weird. But the lucid dreaming's been happening a lot lately, and just the marks, and I don't know.
Have you videotaped yourself sleeping?
Since last September.
I haven't seen any video of you sleeping.
Because there's nothing there. Nothing, not even a single orb. Like
Okay.
nothing, you know? So I just keep it on my hard drive just in case.
Yeah, I was just curious because if these things happen, you know, maybe you're flailing your arms or maybe sleepwalking for all you know, banging into things. You don't realize it when you're sleeping.
Yeah, I check and there either be like a little glitch in the camera or there'll be nothing whatsoever. You know, like the time before I went on your show the first time, Rich, I had all those holes in my knee. I know for a fact they were not there before I went to sleep, you know, and I just had a weird dream. I woke up and I could barely walk because of holes in my leg, you know. And I think that's pretty compelling evidence. And then, you know, right off the bat, people are saying I have skin disease, I have bug infestations. You know, like to me, people's excuses of what's happening to me makes less sense than what I'm actually saying.
No, it doesn't. It makes more sense. To people, it does. Maybe not to you, but to everybody else that doesn't have the experience, they can't understand, John. Nobody can.
This is why I don't even want to do this stuff anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know what more I can do.
There's not you've done it perfectly. Not much more you could do, and you should be awarded for the work you've done. It's phenomenal.
My problem is people who have stories like me who are sharing bullshit stories in the mainstream. It's like the liars get all the attention, and because they're lying in the spotlight, just buries people like me.
Yeah,
it gives us like no shot. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole subject sucks right from the beginning.
Yeah, it ruins it for you. That's what got me started in this field because I had legitimate stuff on video and all these people faking stuff. And the major websites, MUFON and all these other ones, they accept the fake stuff because it looks real. Because it brings attention to the community. I'm
sorry, boys, but if this is the real Jeremy Corbell that is
it's
saying,
not.
Yeah,
that's not him.
He's
just pissed off because I kicked him last time.
It's not the real Corbell.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just some sort of troll. Because I can't imagine him being that. I can't imagine him being that disrespectful. You know, I really can't.
That's not him.
But anyway, here and there, Jeremy. If that is you, shame on you, fella. But you know, whatever.
But you know what I'm saying? You got people on CNN sharing these UFO clips of balloons, and blatantly fake, but it gets the attention. Like I don't get it. Like I think I've been better off if I like made shit up than actually show what's really going on because like it's like the truth. You know, I don't know. It's very frustrating. Ufology is not what I thought it was.
I think the thing is with this, John, with what you're saying, and I reckon a lot of people that have had real sightings of whatever these beings are have a lot of confusion when it comes to seeing them. When you told me that story for the first time, I was blown away by it. I really was, and a lot of people were. Even friends of mine that are not into the subject, that have not even supported my channel when it comes to, like, they said, "What are you doing that for?" You know, it's strange, but a few of them watched that interview and they were blown away by it. So I go watch the interview, people. I can't remember what I called it, but it's up on the channel. But whatever these things are, everybody sees them. You know, these things have been reported all over the world. So
That's a problem, though, isn't it?
go on.
Is
Go on, like
a little example here, especially right now. Everything that can be filmed is being filmed somewhere at some point by somebody's camera that's pointed at something. Take the other day, it's an election right here on the Isle of Man, and one of the candidates that was going around doing like door-to-door things, meeting potential voters, had an argument with the lady on the doorstep, which point he ended up shouting at her, telling her to get back to Ireland. Now, because we live in the world we live in, that one of the neighbors had a camera with a microphone on the outside of the house to make sure that burglars weren't coming in. You know, either it was a Ring or one of those things. How come there's no video of these things happening from other people's homes, not just people from inside their own homes doing their own research? How come when people are getting abducted, there isn't video from other people's houses?
That's a great point. And in my situation, I thought the same thing, because when they were looking in my window, they were standing on a roof.
Mm-hmm.
And my street had, like, I don't know, 40 houses in a straight line. So if you stood on one roof, you can just look down, straight down all the roofs. So, like, this happened 11:30 at night, maybe around midnight. And, like, you know, it's pretty ballsy. Like, nobody, if anyone was in their backyard and looked at the time, I'm assuming they could have seen. That makes me, I've been leaning towards the idea that they're a dimensional being and not actually coming from planets. I've been kind of thinking that
then
the
what
theory
about the
that
stories? What about the stories of people being, like, lifted out of windows in the middle of cities and skyscrapers and things like that? Like, where that explains your like experience, but it doesn't explain all these other ones where you know, if somebody was to get sucked out of a window somewhere, someone is looking up at that window at some point. So it's either a physical thing that happens, or it's something outside of physical reality.
There was a couple
I think it's both. I'm sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, let's just say I think it's both. I think it's physical and spiritual. I think it's all intertwined. I think they can maneuver it both ways.
And there was a report of a couple in New York City seeing a woman float out her window 40 stories up or something like that.
Yeah, they see it from a bridge, I think.
That sounds even more crazy to me. In the middle of New York, just a single couple see it.
Well, it was real, like 2 a.m. or something.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know, yeah, in New York, I mean, believe it or not, people do go to sleep and it slows down a lot.
It's not what I've heard.
It depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
It
no.
does. But anyway, you know, not everybody's looking up either.
That's true. Yeah.
Everybody's looking down on their, well, back then, there were no phones. But anyway, it's a really interdimensional, if I don't even know if that's the right term.
Yeah.
That to me seems like the most logical thing to everything. But that would take some sort of power, like energy, to do that. Man, they must got it all then. It's magical. If we ever saw the technology of aliens, as some people have said, we would think it was magic.
Would you agree, though, that it out of all of them, it's the only one that is depicted over? Saying that, no, there has been a few lizards depicted as well, but this creature is the one that you hear the stories about, that is from anything from Australia to Africa or whatever. You know, it's all over.
They could be like a common design for AI or worker bees or whatever. It could be like the common build that they use. Maybe that's why they're all a little different, because they're all being created by
If they're
different type
AI,
of being.
if the robots, why would they need to have nostrils? Why would they need to have a mouth?
It's a good question. I mean, the nostrils was, the holes were like so small, and the mouth was just a slit that was pretty tight. So either they look useless to me, you know.
But so nostrils being small and very, very tight, almost like they can, I don't know, close them if they needed to.
I think it's almost
If they're visiting somewhere that doesn't agree with their intake of whatever they breathe,
Hmm.
you
I
know,
think it's almost cosmetic, to be honest with you, because the mouth, when I seen their mouth, it looked like it would be impossible to even move. It looked like someone just took a knife and just made a cut. Like there's no muscle definition in lips or nothing, no muscle definition in the face. So I don't see how their face can actually make expressions, because it was just, you know what I'm saying? There's no bone definition or nothing. So I think it was more of a cosmetic thing, maybe.
I think it might be. Isn't that what was depicted in Fire in the Sky, that they were some sort of suits? And
yeah,
Whitley Strieber too, right?
we got the what Travis Walton depicted, yeah. The little
But in the movie, I don't know if that happened to him with his story. Did he say he saw suits?
yeah, this is what Travis, this is the artist's impression of what
okay.
Travis actually described.
Right.
So,
but I don't see alien suits. I see aliens here.
yeah. I mean, that what he said that they were wearing little clothes, little kind of like.
No, I understand, but that head would be a mask. You know what I mean? Like it's a spacesuit.
Isn't his story debunked anyway?
No, no,
kind of.
no. He's still up in. Do you?
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah. It's sad. That's like one of the two I believe. All I got left now is Betty and Barney Hill. If that gets debunked, there's like nothing left.
Well, they're dead. You can't do anything with that.
Sure. If Travis was dead, yeah. If Mike died, we wouldn't have known about this. Well, maybe Mike just said, I'm going to tell everybody it's fake, but then he gives all these incredible details that you can't say, he just thought of this last night. I mean, that's a pretty unbelievable story he told. I believe they pulled it off.
You think they did pull it off, yeah?
I think so.
Unfortunately.
See, who was the guy that we had on that night? Ryan
Gordon.
So Ryan, it's almost like he was he was showing us the evidence, but then he's like, I still believe Travis. He thinks Mike's talking shit.
Oh no, I thought he said it's been.
Yeah,
debunked.
it was confusing. It was confusing.
He thinks it's debunked.
But do you not think it was confusing because then he's showing as a conversation that he's having with Travis?
I think he was trying to make Travis feel good.
I also think he seemed like a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. This isn't me sort of bad mouthing him, but he also seemed like a guy that might want to release that documentary at some point. That might have been trying to make it more interesting.
Right. But here's the deal.
There's nothing wrong with that. You have to put work in.
Don't forget that Travis failed the very first lie detector test.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he failed the one on the game show. Anytime it has to do with money, he fails. I mean, come on.
And anytime it's high pressure as well. You know, the first one, you're going to be more nervous. The game show one, you're going to be nervous.
Test but that's the best time to take the test.
Yeah,
absolutely. When you're fresh, not when you've rehearsed it. And besides, they didn't ask him questions about aliens. Really, they asked him, were you murdered? And were you this and that. It was more about.
I thought his interview was sketchy on the Rogan podcast.
Yeah, it sucked. That was the worst he's ever done.
I was pretty shocked. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't believe him after that. I'd heard the story and stuff like that. After that, I just thought, well, this is fell apart.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to think about what happened when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's not something you have to jog your memory,
Yeah, he was slow, and he was just all off that whole interview. Yeah, I was very put off by that. But I still believed him at that point, to a point, until I saw this Ryan Gordon evidence, Mike Rogers coming out. And they've been through this before. Mike always says, I'm going to tell everybody, you give me that money. It's always about money.
Money makes the world go round, mate.
And what's the best defense when somebody is starting to get up in age? They're losing their mind. He's got mental issues, Travis is saying. God, it just got all muddied up. Now this story's done. I don't know what to believe. I think they faked it. That's what I believe.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? I was thinking about this earlier. Do you think ufology was screwed from the very, very beginning? Or you think there was a certain time where everything just kind of went left?
I'm well happy you asked that.
It's been ruined from day one.
Day one?
Roswell ruined it.
Do you ever, especially more you guys than myself, but what I've been thinking recently, this is where Ollie starts getting scared, especially with what's going on around us. I'm starting to trust things less and less, and I'm starting to trust what the official narrative is of things less and less and less. And alien greys, and regardless of what's supposed to be like sort of pseudoscience stuff like that, alien greys visiting us from other planets and abducting people is very much part of the narrative that we've been spun from TV to films all the way through, like my entire life, essentially. Do you guys ever think to yourself, like, have we all been fucking played? There might be something going on. Don't get me wrong. There might be something otherworldly or esoteric going on. But have we all been played since that? Like since Roswell, since the first episode of the X-Files, has this been like this long, slow running narrative that's meant to have like people all across the internet talking to each other about things coming from other worlds when it's actually nothing to do with fucking aliens?
Sorry, Danielle Shen John says go put a shirt on. I think he's getting excited. So
it's hot here in Philly.
it's obvious the same guy who's Corbell that's changing his name. Jesus Christ. I just sorry to interrupt, but I just think that somebody who's got the time to do that is just go have a wank or something, mate. Seriously. You know, go knock one out. Rather than spending time trying to change your profile picture to be somebody else.
To answer Lee's question, every day I think about it now. If the whole thing is bullshit,
it's a crazy thought, isn't it? Like it's
all has nothing to do with aliens.
The conspiracy is it's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Sucks. Because I always think, well, the evidence sucks, the people suck, the government sucks. What's good about ufology?
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious. I try to think about it, but I can't find anything good. Well, there's people out there talking more positively than you about lies, though. So what good's the conversation if it has nothing to do with anything? If it's a lie, they're just more positive.
I just feel that there would be, with so many people, when you look at the power of the internet hive mind, no fucking like complex puzzle and all these things get thrown out, and you see it all the time. Even not complex things like teasers that are in videos. Like you'll get one like 30-second trailer of a new Batman film, and within fucking 30 minutes, the entire internet has dissected it and essentially worked out the entire plot of the movie. With the internet hive mind working on things like this, wouldn't there be something fucking cast iron? But now, one piece of evidence which you could take to the bank and hold up and you go, do you know what? That stands against all criticism and against all tests.
You're right, man. There's nothing.
the Travis Walton case, though, the problem with that is, one, you've got the story that's now that is falling apart, and two, you've got the film which doesn't depict anything from Travis's story apart from the fact that it was taken by aliens. But everything else of that, you know, even when it comes to what the aliens look like, the whole story of it, the hostility of it, it wasn't. He didn't depict it, his stories, whether it's a story or not. He didn't depict a hostile. He didn't depict anything hostile about it, apart from the fact that, you know, he was scared out of his life because he'd never seen anything like it. But then he realized, you know, that maybe they're not here to harm me or whatever. But now it's all falling to pieces. But I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to show this or not. But Ryan did send me a piece of footage from it's only a clip, like literally a picture that he sent me, but I got a nice from the tower for whatever they were doing out there. But that's one from what they call, is it the Gentry Tower?
That's awesome. The Gentry, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
it? That's not the real one. That's just a depiction.
No, that's this is something that he filmed on his actual
What?
scope. Yeah. I did enhance it in Photoshop to make the stars
Beautiful,
pop a little
yeah,
bit.
that's cool.
Yeah, nice. But
Tells you it looks like a UFO.
I don't think you'll mind me showing that because it's not showing a.
Absolutely.
He's not
Glorious
sent any
picture.
clips. Yeah, beautiful picture.
Because they just popped that up a second again as well, just for a second. You can even see that break in the trees there. You slap bang in the middle where there'd be enough of a break to be standing, you know, to be looking up at it. That's a good picture. I like that.
I bet that documentary is really good. You know, I would love to see it.
Yeah, I would.
I don't think it's ever gonna see the light of day. The thing is with these, go on, Rich, what you saying, Rich? I thought you put your hand up.
No, I was just.
You need to cut a bit more of your beard off for that.
Rich, going back to that though, and all jokes aside, that is very much like a Nazi salute, whatever isn't it?
Well, he's doing this, then he's gonna go do 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 do. You know, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's one of the most beautiful sounds in the world, though.
I know,
Yes,
right?
it was the first rave.
Yeah,
It was.
it was the first rave.
That's hilarious.
Oh, if I was in a nightclub and I heard that, Jesus.
That is that song. Have you ever heard the whole song? The soundtrack of Close Encounters?
Yeah, no. I think I've got it on Spotify.
It's a double album. I think I still have it somewhere. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that song's really long. It gets into all the other stuff. But yeah, if what we're looking at there is real, let's say it really happened. They came back and brought back Flight 19, you know, those guys who got lost over the Florida Keys, whatever, back in 1940, whatever. You know, you just bringing people back that have been missing for back then it was 30 years. You can't do that, I don't think, and make it public.
Well, right? You're saying all of a sudden these people come back and they've not aged, or they have aged,
right? They have.
What would be worse?
I don't know. Getting twice as old. I mean, that's fantastic. What happened? But I'm just saying it can't happen. Aliens visiting us and making it go public and having disclosure and all that, it would create more problems than what we've got in Afghanistan right now.
Do you think that this is as big a cover up as, say, some of the normal things that are covered up in this world, like real reasons why wars happen and what have you? Do you think this is the biggest cover up ever?
I think it's part of the biggest cover up.
Okay. Obviously, boys, be careful what we speak about here because I don't want to be taken down. But what could these, say they are real, okay, and I know what people are probably thinking in the chat, or somebody's watching this now saying, "Why do you do this if you're even saying that?" Because I haven't seen one myself, and this is why John's on, because John has seen two at the window, staring at his penis.
Oh,
But I can't fathom the reason why these creatures, if these creatures are depicted on cave paintings, is that just somebody who's shit at drawing, and that's just what all they can draw is the shape with big eyes, and that is just that's probably just a normal human being. But if you're an ancient alien theorist, you'll go, that's an alien. Or is it because these creatures have been visiting us for a long time? Look at the people that worshipped gods with elongated heads, and they used to tie the strings round because they worshipped these beings. There was a reason why they tied these strings around the head to make them like that. Was it? I'm not really down with the ancient alien theories. I'm really not. But when I look at somebody like that, I'm thinking, why would you tie your head and make it elongated for no reason at all? Unless somebody knows the real reason to why they did that. And they probably do.
they saw something that they idolized. That's the only reason they would do something like that. And they wanted to be like them, or they thought they would be smarter if they had bigger heads like aliens. See, I think way back then the aliens were more upfront and personal because they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. And they felt
they
it'd
could
be
be.
Pardon?
They could be rich. They could be.
It may be, yeah, maybe.
They could be. I mean, you look at that. I think I spoke about this on one of my other shows, but you look at that tribe that you can't go near.
Oh, yeah.
And you go near it, they chuck spears at you and what have you. And I think there was one man that got near it. But maybe you give that another 500 years, maybe you might be able to actually go near them. You know what I mean? Maybe these creatures back then, they felt like it's the opposite. For us, it's the opposite. We've become dangerous now. Or maybe it's because we're too intelligent that we can't know. But maybe back then they thought, you know what? They can be molded. They can be reasoned with because they believe in X, Y, Z. They believe in gods. That's a good one, Rich. I like that. But maybe it's become. Maybe we've become this race that they don't really want to associate with because something's gone drastically wrong with us.
Well, they would know if they've been working on us for eons. I think if they're doing anything with our DNA, it's maybe to populate other planets. I think if there are, according to John Lear, he says that our solar systems, there's millions of humans on all over the moons and planets. I mean, it's a little stretch of the imagination, but what if he's right? That's why we see strange structures. And I know it could just be pareidolia, but there's stuff that's blotched out on the moon and on Mars. Why would they blotch it out? There's no reason to, unless there's some stuff.
Or unless we're supposed to think there's stuff.
No, I don't think so. That's just, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe to throw the scent off, but to what?
Because if you create intrigue, then you fuel the conversation. The best way to get someone to talk about a box is to close the lid.
I know. Yeah. Or don't open that.
Yeah.
Like I want to open it.
Speaking of lids being closed, Lee, well, go on, finish what you're going to say though. But I have a lid that kind of has been closed, but it's been opened again.
Well, I was just gonna say, because we hear these people, especially like your man, was it the ex-Canadian defense minister that came out saying, Yeah, was it Paul Haley? I can't remember, but he was saying it's
rest
like
in peace. He's passed away recently.
50 different types of aliens visiting the planet and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. I also like if let's think about it as far as the is it the Drake equation that works out how many like millions of advanced life forms there's supposed to be? If you've got all the advanced life, so I'm not going to go fucking Fermi paradox here. If you've got all these advanced life forms, let's say they're all zipping around. We've got things that are thousands of years older than us, millions of years older than us. I don't understand why they've all decided at the same time, right? We should interfere with this planet covertly. So I'll take it that maybe the Greys, maybe they're shy, maybe they just want to do that. But if there's other races from other parts of the galaxy and other planets that are interacting with Earth, why have they all decided to be quiet?
It's a great
That
point.
makes no sense.
If
All
I
you
had
need to
to
do is
guess,
all you need
I
to
would
do
think
is
it's like a
Unless-
probe. Yeah.
Unless the what you call it, the Star Trek theory, what's it called? The protocol.
I'm just not willing to give. I'm not willing to give such a human concept like the United Nations. I'm not willing to say that all these like aliens from all around all across the galaxy would have such like a human concept as the like.
But how do you
badly worked government.
maybe when you're out there, they're like, maybe there's borders. I don't know. Maybe there's like when you go in there, right? Yeah, don't tell these little fuckers who you are, and whatever you do not introduce faster than light speed travel to them, because they will kill some people. They are lunatics on this planet. Thank you, Blake, for that, for piping in.
But if there's 57 different species out there, there's always some rogue asshole that's going to, create something on Earth and say, watch how everybody goes crazy. They call it the news. Watch what happens when I land the ship here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's always a me. There's always a me that wants to fuck things up or just take the piss out of somebody.
But it hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. And it's none of it.
Why?
I don't. Again, I'm not saying that there isn't something going on, because there's. I think there's more layers to reality than we can see, touch, and smell. But
yeah,
I've come to to my own conclusion anyway. I don't believe if there's something engaging with us, I don't believe it's from a different planet. I don't believe it's from space.
What do you think it is then? Do you think it's fifth dimensional?
Yeah. I mean, you can call it what you want. You could, if I was religious, I'd call it demons.
Back in February, American Airlines got buzzed by a tube-like object going hypersonic speeds, and it was caught on radar too. And another plane saw it go right over the top. I don't know if you remember the story. We covered it on Third Phase of Moon. This is just phenomenal. The jetpack guy made another appearance a couple of weeks ago. We saw him back January and February. What is that?
That was the one you originally filmed. Am I right by saying that?
Well, I filmed one 2005.
And you tried to debunk it, your own thing, and said it was a stormtrooper or something like that?
It looked like Iron Man wearing a 1890s fish tank mask, scuba, the big underwater things that they would wear, scuba gear, that big helmet.
Sorry, can I just butt in for a second? Can you do something about your fake Greer, Ollie? Because it's interrupting people talking to each other.
What
I just kicked him.
Right.
Are you kidding? John's just kicked Stephen Greer. Well done, mate.
Dude, there's a lot of assholes in the chat today, man.
I don't know what's going on. I need more mods.
You never ever have issues.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's recently. It's over the last few
months. You know when it started?
Is
when it started when you interviewed Tyler. It's been like that kind of ever since.
That's true.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that day I was sweating, moderating by myself.
Yeah, where's
Was
your
not-
moderators? You don't have any moderators
I was
here.
the, I was the only one.
I have a few moderators.
Well, I haven't seen one.
It's mainly Patreons, but it's people who I trust. So because I
Yeah, there's
don't.
Rich Northwood.
Yeah, Rich is one.
Legendary, yeah.
My problem is with mods is I believe that everybody has the right to speak. Okay, if somebody wants to call me a dickhead or a ginger dickhead or whatever they want to call me, that's fine. I'll take it on the chin, and I will take. But I'll just
What
invite them
about
on
the
the
compliment comment even?
Well, this is the thing. As long as you're not being disrespectful to other people in the chat, like being violent or anything like that, I don't care. But if somebody's being disrespectful towards me, it's my channel. They can speak their mind. I don't care. You know, if you want, email me and I'll have it out with me face to face live. You know, that's how I work. You know, I'm not one of these people that I'll just ban somebody for calling me a bell end or whatever. You know, it is. But I think it's sad as hell. I think if anybody has a problem, and I think for anybody to sit for 3 hours or however long a show goes on for being a troll, I feel sorry for them because they've probably got they're probably a bit poorly, and they've probably not got a lot going on in their life. So
It's what
I
happens when
hope-
people have run
I
out of money for cam girls.
I hope they turn around and then become good. You know,
I don't
life's too short to be a fucking troll. You know, go do something that you enjoy. Maybe you enjoy doing that, but I won't bite. I'm afraid. I don't give a shit. So there you go. But anyway, on with the show. I'm going to piss Rich off a bit here because I know that we speak about this and it's been debunked. It's been debunked to death. But has it? Has it been debunked to death? Has it, Rich? That's the
What?
question. I'm looking for the picture.
Yeah, that's fake. It's fake.
Do tell. Why is it fake?
Because
Because
the
they
guy
came
admitted
out.
it was a fake.
He admitted it. Yeah.
It looks fake too. It doesn't look real. Looks stupid.
I watched it the other day and I was going to show it again on the show. I can't show it now on YouTube because they delete it. They delete copyright from whom?
From Fox. Fox
No,
owns it.
I don't. Do they?
Well, they're the ones that bought it and aired it.
So do you remember we spoke about this briefly on a show? There was that slide that came out. That one slide that kind of proves the age of it.
It does?
That's what they're saying.
I'd never seen this slide before.
This was being sold for a lot of money.
I've never seen this before. So what are we looking at? I see the alien. That's the alien. But why is this? Is this supposed to be legit?
Apparently so, and I think it went for about $1 million.
Wait, but that's just the dummy.
That is a slide of this.
Yeah, who gives a shit? That sold for a lot of money. So they got a slide of a dummy, or if that is real, that's a person.
Did you watch it recently?
Of course, not recently. I mean, I saw news clips. You know, they were showing parts of it. I haven't watched the whole thing since it came out.
I don't know if anybody could watch that now and say that is not a body being chopped up, because first I can do things with silicon, things with plasticine, clay, whatever. I can model. I know how to do it. That is clever. Whoever's done that is genius.
The government would not allow a real alien to be on
I agree.
TV.
I agree. But the weird thing that spammed on from that is we got the alien autopsy. You know, we got the comedy, the piss take of this with Anton Deck. Those are two British comedian guys.
Yeah, I know
entertainers.
them, yeah.
It's just a little bit weird. It's just a little bit weird what happened with that. And it's one thing to go back to something, go, oh yeah, that's so blatantly fake. But if you watch that now, did they say it was a crash test dummy or something like that? The debunkers said it was a dummy from a shop or something like that, and they put latex over it. They've done something along
like
them lines. Yeah. Okay. You go back, you watch the autopsy of that thing, and I urge anybody not to now. Don't leave now. Go watch it. And then come back to me in the comment section and tell me that that is not a real body being chopped up. Because it is. That's a real body being chopped up. That is not a... This thing is not a piece of...
It's not being
latex.
done in the back of somebody's butcher's shop.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
It's not. It is so well done. I watched it literally yesterday when I knew I was doing this show, and I thought I want to show this. I want to put it on, but I don't think I can play it.
I don't think you can.
I think you could. I think it was fake, couldn't you? But wouldn't you be forced to for it to be like an over 18 thing?
Well, the channel's over 18 anyway. I think it's because it shows mutilation. I've seen warnings on other channels saying mutilation.
It is that's known as the Ray Santilli hoax. And Ray Santilli's the guy who supposedly reconstructed what really happened. So that's what we're seeing, is a reconstruction of what he saw on a real autopsy video. That's what that's supposed to be.
The problem I have with that is there's never been, for me anyway, a suitable explanation as to how it was faked.
Yeah,
there's been no suitable explanation how that dummy looks so good.
Yeah, I don't remember
even that face.
There hasn't.
It's crazy.
Nothing.
Because it's a real body. I think they got a cadaver that was somehow mutilated, or I don't know, man. Whatever they did to the head, maybe it was somebody with some sort of DNA miscue.
Yeah, I tell you what,
Down syndrome,
so,
maybe
more so than like the pictures of like classic greys, like what are behind you guys there. The head on that thing certainly looks like the thing that was on that drawing Aleister Crowley did.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. The mouth is different, though.
The mouth's different, but like even the head's got that sort of more rounded thing to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because don't forget, I mean, that is a drawing from a fucking madman. Yeah, I don't know. I'm falling so much more that way now that there's.
It looks like a Down syndrome victim fell in the river and maybe drowned, and they sold the body to science. Maybe.
I'll take the bloating from like the bloating from the drowning, because that's what happens with the stomach, isn't it? You get that sort of pot belly when people drown.
So my dad described something similar to this when he was in the Merchant Navy. He pulled a load of bodies up there when a ferry had sunk.
Oh my God!
And they said there were hundreds of them. They pulled them all up on ship, and they were all bloated. He said he felt nothing doing it. He said it was really weird. He said he just felt absolutely. Said he thought it would be the worst, the most horrendous thing. But his brain shut off. But he said that they looked alien. They looked weird.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pulling all these bodies up onto the ship. From I forgot the name of the ferry. He told me it was kind of it's a famous. It was a big deal back in the 80s. But yeah, he said they was all bloated. But you've had doctors look at the autopsy of the stuff that's inside this, and it's like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's just random pieces of meat.
Well, yeah, but if you're saying that this is a human that's got a deformity of some kind, surely it'd have the same pieces, the same bits and pieces that we have, unless they operated it, they pre-operated on it from behind, like and then they put shit into it,
Right.
which is more scary than the actual fact that it's an alien.
Yeah, it was,
not fact, but
I thought they put like chicken in there and pork, things to make the look like they bought an actual liver to look like the liver. I thought.
Well, yeah, you've seen the original Alien film. When the egg opens up, there's bits of chicken in there. That was all real, like pieces of ligaments and stuff. That when the egg opens up, that's like real, like skin membrane and stuff. That's how they did that special effect.
And they also had millions of dollars to do it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, this thing is so, to this day, and I knew you'd have a problem with it, Rich, because we've had little arguments about it before.
Could we do it? That's the question you should ask. If we were sat in a pub and we said, right, lads, we're gonna make something special for YouTube, could we do that? I don't think we could.
I think we could.
Do you think? Do you think we could do something like that? I don't.
Maybe not with an alien or a human body.
I could do that. I reckon I could actually do that. I wish I'd have got into this type of stuff with that. I'm good with modeling, and I reckon.
But that looks like a wax model.
Yeah,
that does.
It's also like color.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Do you think the budget that they had to do the film was more than the budget that they had to do this?
See, what gets me with that is the painting of it.
The budget for that.
Sorry, sorry for talking over you. What gets me with the black and white photograph is the shading on it, is the shading on the skin to where it looks like there's bruising, even down. See where you can see the pubic bone on it, just where it goes into that sort of pot belly bit. Then underneath the elbow, you've got that, so you can see a muscle structure there. Underneath there, what's like muscle going up to what would be where the ribs are. It's just so, even in like that grainy photograph, it's so detailed.
It is. I would agree. I agree completely with you. When you look at that. You see just underneath the belly, underneath the rib, you've got the same lesion type thing as you've got there on the belly. It's almost like they have tried to replicate it as much as they can.
It's identical almost.
It is identical. It's weird.
They did that on purpose.
Have you seen that Alien Autopsy, the comedic version?
No.
Terrible film.
I've never seen it. I refuse to watch it. Though I do like Anton Deck. All right. Funny fellas. Yeah, I just thought it's interesting because it made a bit of a comeback this year. Bit weird that it made a comeback with what's gone on this year as well. Where this little slide
they picked the moment, definitely.
Sold for a hell of a lot of money. I don't know if anybody's got access to a computer in front of you now to see how much this actually went for, but I believe it was about $1 million.
Why is that slide special?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Is that the slide from the original video?
Yes, a slide from the original footage. That's why it's so special, because apparently this thing's been approved by the CIA or something. It's been approved, basically. This thing has been approved to say that it is that old. Why would they do that? Why would, if they want to keep it under wraps, why would they even approve it?
They don't want to keep it under wraps. They want to push it.
Thank you, my man. females are angels. Yes, they are angels. And thank you. You're an angel for the super chat. Soon you'll be talking about the truth. You know, deep down is the truth. I think I get where he's coming from with that.
Huh?
I just think he's wrote a terrible song lyric.
I don't know, with a bit of harmony behind that, it could sound good. Speaking, maybe get DarkHour was meant to be popping on in a moment. He said he's got a bit of harmony. Maybe he can sing like, "Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I'm going to call you far, far, far. Females are angels, far, far. Thank you, my friend. Beautiful, beautiful super chat there. Yeah, I just it irritates me. This irritates me. Because I had such a passion for it, and then it went away after it was debunked, and I believed the debunk. I'm not so sure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if something actually did slip. Just because of how real that autopsy looks. And do you remember the guy with the curly hair? I can't remember. I think the documentary series was called Autopsy or something. It was horrible. It was interesting. Where a guy chopped up real dead people, and it actually looks like a real autopsy because I watched little bits of it. It was horrific.
Yeah, I remember that guy doing that. Yeah,
it was like, I think it was a Swedish guy or something doing
it
the
was
autopsies.
It was an art thing, wasn't it? It was like an art, like a live art thing. Yeah,
but the watching that and then watching this. So similar, like ridiculously how similar it is. It's just weird.
You don't think it could be a person?
Well, yeah, that's what you're saying, Rich. A person with deformities,
with Down
I mean,
syndrome.
why give it ears and human facial features? I mean, it looks pretty human besides the size of its head, right? For the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, everything else. You take the head off, put my head on there. That's a human. And
it's almost like someone created what they thought would look like an alien without having any idea what they could even look like. You know.
Kind of, yeah. And the starting bid was $1 million on that slide. But
how much did it sell for?
How much it sold for? Probably sold for $1 million. If it did, I can't find where it was sold.
Who bought it?
I can't find that. I don't know if it sold.
The infamous private collector.
You can get the whole video for like $10.
Yeah, but it doesn't say. I can't find anywhere that somebody purchased it. That's it. Yeah, Ray Santilli got that from 1992 from a retired U.S. military cameraman. And by the way, let's talk about the camera work. It was blurry, and an alien autopsy, back then they had color. They would have shot that in color. Believe it or not, they did have color film. Especially for aliens, they would have made it in color. But let's say they didn't have access to it. They had the worst zoom. Anytime they got close to something, it was blurred out. You couldn't see any details of the interior of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that was important was either blocked or blurred. That's why it's bullcrap.
I just walked in with
Number 2.
Bullcrap.
I think if they were doing that, they would have done it in black and white, just because the resolution would have been higher back then.
Nope, you're wrong. I read this whole thing from a guy who does autopsies. He said we would have used color because the color, it gives you the color of the insides. You know, what if something was purple or
that's
blue?
Fair. Yeah.
They had access to it apparently, and they didn't use it. That doesn't make sense. So they used black and white. So you can't tell shit.
Yeah, I get that, Rich. And the way it was filmed, if you watch it, it's filmed.
Awful.
It's
Badly.
You have historical find, an alien from another planet crashed into the desert, and that's the best you're going to do? No way, Jose. Sorry. And there would be many more people in that room. Nope.
Would
sorry.
there, though, if you were worried about infection?
Yeah. Oh my God. I know.
That's what. Maybe there wouldn't be more people if you were worried
Yeah,
about
maybe.
infection.
Maybe they were behind the glass. I don't know, but they had 3 or 4 in there. I guess that was enough. But I'm talking, they would have had a much bigger stage if this was a real alien. They would have brought it someplace that had every single type of contraption they could use. This looks like they just brought it to a studio and have a tray of stuff lying around. I'm not buying it.
why would an alien as well be why would it have a weight problem? Why would it have a beer belly?
It's
Unless that's where it has loads of organs down there. That's all that is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think that could have been an experiment, maybe?
Yeah, could have been.
A government experiment that passed away, and maybe they just,
I definitely think the debunk's wrong. I think the debunk saying it's a dummy is wrong. I think that is a real, a real person. Unfortunately,
I don't believe 4 pissed up blokes in a pub in the UK came up with a plan, and one of them was a butcher that said, I can make a dummy. Like I said, I know some pretty fucking creative people. and if I could fucking pick my own task force over here, I've got friends that do like practical effects and things like that for films and stuff. I don't think even on the budget of essentially a fucking Kit Kat, I just don't think we could do it.
I don't know.
So it's fascinating, though. It is fascinating the fact that they debunked it as being a we got the man in the house driving and streaming. There we go.
Hey, what's going
What's
on,
up,
guys?
man?
Sorry for the impromptu and late appearance, but I wanted to get on here just in case. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good,
Very
man.
good, mate.
Don't have
Good by yourself.
Terrible.
Don't have a terrible accident,
I was seeing
please.
if you could hear me.
Good Lord. So what I miss?
No,
Nothing.
we're
We were
just
waiting.
talking about the Greys, mate.
The
That's
Greys.
what
The Grey's mate.
the Grey alien, the Grey, the Grey. We're talking about the Greys, mate. Somebody's got to be friends with them.
Well, I don't know. From my understanding, they were all androgynous. At one point, they all the Zeta Reticuli in general at one point had lost the right perception, possibly even in a physical sense. So everything was seen through logic. And in that same course, they lost the physical components of the right brain as well, including sexual organs and the ability to produce and experience emotion. So again, from my understanding, they actually started creating life in a very artificial form, and they perfected that after a certain point.
Don't take this the wrong way, but where did that information come from?
That's a very good question, Rich. And of course, whenever we come across something like this, we have to ask that question. This is a compilation. What I'm saying now is a compilation of different texts and articles and books and speeches that I've heard people talk about this, mentioning what I'm saying in various forms. But again, we have to remain skeptical. It's just a theory, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
That's
That's a good one. That's another good one. And possible.
Sorry, Rich.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
No, I was done.
Okay. No, what we've just been talking about is the alien autopsy. If you remember it from the 1995, and it got debunked, and then they did a silly film about it called Alien Autopsy with Anton Deck from the UK. And recently they released a slide of it that sold for, we think, over $1 million. And if you, I don't know when the last time you watched it was, Michael, but if you watch that to this day, it still looks real. It looks like a real person being having an autopsy done.
Well,
When was
keep
the
in
last
mind,
time you
too,
watched it?
I'd have to say within the last year, I was privy to watching that again. But I mean, I remember when this first came out, and this was actually something being discussed very lightly in the mainstream. Of course, for the time, that's what they did. There wasn't a lot of that cloak and shield sort of stuff happening the way it is now. My concern with any of these videos dealing with autopsies is, of course, the time that this was taken, in the best of our knowledge, when was this done, and then, of course, the understanding of certain movie effects and robotics and these plaster type figures that they can make for movies. I'm always very concerned, but I will say, guys, that some of these, especially the one that you're referencing right now, does look legitimate. I mean, in the way the flesh looks, I mean, even the moistness or whatever salinity is within the skin, it looks very convincing. And if somebody was going to go off and try to create something like this in a visual fashion, they would have had to have the funding to do it. They would have had to have the balls to pull it off and then present it as such and keep it this way for however many years. It's a very elaborate hoax if it is one.
What I want to know with this, I would like to, because we saw for the documentary, we saw doctors look at this and comment to say, this looks like a real autopsy. What they're doing looks legit. I would like to see that done now. I'd like to see a doctor sit down, a surgeon, sorry, that does this type of thing, that does autopsies even, and to kind of revisit this. I would like to see somebody who has that job sit down in front of that and say, these people don't know what they're doing, or these people know exactly what they're doing.
They've done that already.
Yeah, and a lot of them said that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So you hire somebody who does autopsies.
Yeah, but the part of the debunk, Rich, was that that it was somebody's. It was a local butcher that put it together, and so they got a local butcher there, but then they managed to get a surgeon to do the autopsy. It doesn't sit right with me.
Sure. Well, if you're going to make a something, you want somebody who can fillet the fish, man. You want somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, but you think if you're a surgeon, you've got a great job already. You're on a lot of money, or even somebody who does autopsies, whatever. They're on a good whack. If that ever got found out, you would probably get, what do they call it? Is it disbarred or whatever?
Yeah, but they're wearing a mask. They can deny it all they want. Yeah,
well, no, I know this. But then we go back. Sure. I don't want to stay on this for too long. But then we go back to the fact that at some point they knew this was going to get debunked if it was a fake. Okay, so to make more money on the fact that you've done a really terrific fake, where is the color footage of them making this thing? Where is that?
I said this last time.
Where is it? Where is it? Where's it gone?
I don't think they filmed it in color.
I don't know that they even filmed the making of this.
Because they don't know what the future lies. We don't know what's going to happen in 15 years from now.
Nobody thought. Yep. Go ahead.
No. You.
The internet wasn't even around.
Right, and the way that film was being produced, it was incredibly expensive to do. I mean, on top of whatever prophylactic, character that they're creating. The thing is this too, that it really can go one of two ways. Either A, that is actual footage and we're seeing something legitimate that was released many years ago before people had, again, that sort of secretive cloak to the degree that they do now, or we're seeing a long living hoax wherein, again, I've said this on other shows before. I mean, if we're given the smoking gun evidence, are we actually going to know it when we see it? With all of this other disinformation, other videos, staying on this topic that are hoaxed, or we've been able to prove that they're hoaxes, this is just another one in the mix that may be possible that the people at the helm that were responsible for this, or even have any footing in ufology today in the modern sense, to say, screw it. It's out there. They can't figure it out. They're sitting in their chairs with their cigars, smoking them, laughing, saying they can't tell A from B, but they know something's out there. It's possible.
It just doesn't sit right with me that there's not one piece of footage from the original. They've not even taken a picture of the arm, of the head, anything. There's nothing.
They're just thinking of making a fake, man. They're not thinking of getting things in color. It costs money for color film too.
Yeah, but in 1995, if you'd made something like that,
I had a video.
It's something to be proud of. Something to be proud of. You take a picture of it. Sorry, Lee, what were you saying?
I was just saying, I as a kid had a video camera that was bought for me for my birthday in 1995. You were at the height of like family home videos, weren't you?
Yeah.
So there would have been,
But it was 140. It wasn't even 360 back then, or 480.
Mm-hmm. You think it could have been? I said, you think it could have been made to not be a hoax? Just a couple special effects guys just seeing if they can pull something off, and not actually.
This is the thing, though.
Be like the hoax.
But it wasn't special effects guys.
They pulled it off. They definitely pulled it off.
This is the thing, though. It's it wasn't special effects guys. If it had been these guys that come out that did, like there was the one that came out of Russia, where you had that sort of green translucent creature there that ended up being was it a competition to try and do the same thing? But it was where a load of people that were into practical effects got together to do these things. You remember the little the little tiny alien autopsy that there was with he was that big, he had a big square jaw on him as well.
Oh, little ugly bastard! Yeah, I remember that.
That's what it would look like if I did one of them. If I tried to make an alien autopsy, that's what it would look like.
Whoever did it, if it's fake, it's a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece.
Ollie, what do we know about the footage itself? Guys, you probably know a little bit about the history. Has anyone verified this footage, where it came from, the source, anybody who's actually in the video itself? Any information that anybody's heard about that?
Well, the guy that put it forward came out and said it was a hoax, didn't he? The Santilli guy.
Yeah, Ray.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it was found. Apparently, it was found in. It will say in this magazine, but they found it in some sort of
canister.
Yeah, it was just left there for years, and somebody just it was.
Wasn't it an estate sale?
Yeah, I think somebody bought it by accident. Somebody bought it by accident,
right?
Mm-hmm. I want to get in touch with the guy who did the alien autopsy film with Anton Depp, because he did do a live stream with somebody where he was saying that clip, this little slide, is real, and that you saw that we did the film on is a real footage from 1940, but it's not 46 or whatever. Yeah, that's real. He was on Grant Cameron. He was on Grant Cameron. That's who he was on. I want to get him on. I want to speak about
Grand Canyon. Ray Santilli was?
The guy who did the film. He had something to do with the film for Alien Autopsy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had something to do with that. So nothing to do with the actual original Alien Autopsy, just the film. I think he's. I don't know if he was I don't think he was the director. I think he was like the co-producer or something like that. But yeah, he was on there. It's just this little autopsy sits with me every time I look at an alien grave. I just think, could that be real? Could they have hidden the fact that it's been debunked? It hasn't been debunked. It's not a dummy. That's the problem.
Could you just pop that picture back up for 2 more seconds before we move on?
Which one?
The Alien Autopsy one, the black and white one. Yeah, right. There's lots of stuff goes on about how that phone wouldn't be around in 1940s. I've just found it.
What's that?
Yeah, I've heard about the phone.
Yeah, but there's lots about the phone a phone like that wouldn't have been around in the 1940s. I've just been searching for 1940s phones. I think I've just found what phone that is, and it's from the 40s. I'm gonna send it to Ollie.
Screen share it. Screen share it, mate.
I'm not screen. Do you not remember the nightmare I had trying to screen share stuff last time? I'm not good at that stuff.
Yeah, me neither, Lee.
So that phone does exist in the 1940s.
I think so.
So here's. I mean, I don't want to stay too much longer on this because we've spent long enough on it. But here's the thing about the phone: you watch the autopsy in full, the phone moves, the wire moves, it moves about like they've been using it because it goes to different clips. But it's almost, if they thought about moving the wire of the phone, that's insane. That's really that's crucial thinking. If they've done that, if they thought, well, we need to make sure the wire of the phone moves. So you found this exact phone, have you, Rick?
I don't know if it's the exact phone, but if you look at it, there was certainly phones of that style around in 1940s.
Everything on there is authentic. And also, check this out. Special effects designer named John Humphreys claimed that he had created the figure in the footage and appeared in the film as well as one of the pathologists. However, a leaked 2001 memo was reportedly obtained by Robert Bigelow, obtained from the archives of former NASA astronaut Edgar Mitchell, which discusses a CIA scientist, Kit Green, saying the film and the cadaver are real. The cadaver's real, and the film is real, obviously, because it's a film, but so it's a real thing. It's a real person or alien. It says here the cadaver is real.
I mean, let's put it forth for a moment here. It is possible. This is certainly something that's leaked into the public eye. And again, back then they were filming these things, and maybe somebody did, put it in a canister and it was found. I mean, I'd be curious too to see exactly what kind of film stock this was recorded on. It would have been nice if the person who brought it forward had actually shown us more in the way of the physical evidence to corroborate it. But, these things are kind of fly by night sometimes, and most people who have them don't want to go too much into detail. And it's tough because it remains nebulous to all of us.
The footage is a reconstruction of what he said he previously viewed, and that only a few frames from the 1947 film were in the actual recreation, the reconstruction, which one of them was probably sold for $1 million.
I think he's just arrived at home, DarkHour.
So,
do we know if it was sold for $1 million, Rich?
We don't know yet. I don't know if it was sold.
That would be good to revisit and find out if this was sold for over $1 million and what that person who bought it.
Yeah, I know.
The phone does look the same though. Lee, looks exactly the same. And you're saying this phone's from 1940 what?
1946.
Okay. That's the same phone.
Yeah, it's just got a black outline instead of the silver one that's on that one. But I only did that because I saw people saying in the chat about the phone. And I
About the
think
phone,
there's a sort of a thing, isn't it, with stuff where people read or hear someone say something without actually doing any sort of like fact checking for themselves, and then all of a sudden that becomes a real thing, doesn't it? Because if enough people tell a lie, it becomes the truth.
So now we're talking about fact checking. Do any of you remember the 4chan alien?
Smooth segue, Ollie.
Thank you.
Smooth segue.
Rich, do you remember it? The 4chan alien that took 4chan down?
I don't know. I have to see it. I don't it sounds so familiar, but I don't remember.
I'll bring up the supposed one that took the supposed real image. That now my interest here is how it took an entire platform down for a day. That's my interest with it. Now, was that because of something else, and they used this as a decoy? But the supposed alien is so hard to find, but yet it looks so stupid, and it does look stupid. But this is it. That's the fake.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that's apparently that is the real alien that took 4chan down.
This must have. What year was this? Because I don't think I was around.
You definitely was around. It was
it wasn't long ago. 5 years.
3 years ago.
5 years ago. Yeah.
No.
I
didn't hear about this
came
either.
back in 2017. So no.
Yeah.
around.
You were around when it.
I don't. I've never seen this before.
So this they called it the alien that took a selfie, basically, and the platform instantly went down that day when this got released, and a few people got this one piece of footage. Now, if you type in 4chan alien, you will get so many different aliens, so many. But this one that says real there, that's the only one that because I looked into this when it first happened. That's the only one that was coming up as the actual real one, and it was so hard to find. It was literally like impossible to find. But they've now been met. It's a bit like the Lonnie Zamora, the logo on the side of the ship. There's been so many decoys done of that. There's been so many decoys done of this supposed alien. So if you type in 4chan alien on Google, you get anything but this little blue image on the my right. I don't know if it's on your right. It might be on your left. The little one that says real. You get anything but that. So I find that interesting that took an entire channel down, an entire platform down.
Well, can you elaborate a little bit? Because I'm not familiar with this, as Rich isn't either. How did this exactly? Did somebody post it on 4chan? Was there a threat made by the extraterrestrial before? How did this all kind of come to pass?
Lee, I'll hand over for you that
Right.
one because you're more familiar with this than I am. But this,
I remember being in work. I remember being in work and sat there on my phone trying to work out what the fuck had gone on. I didn't even know what 4chan was until then. Somebody posted up on 4chan, and I think it was within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the entire site went down. 4chan has never gone down. And the first time that site had ever gone down, when you consider some of the fucking crazy stuff people have posted on 4chan, and this, all of a sudden, somebody posted that picture up, the entire board was a fucking blaze of people going, did anybody save the photograph? Has anybody got it? There was people saying that they'd saved the photograph to the hard drive and it had been deleted off the hard drive. This is multiple people saying this, that it had been deleted off their computer. It was just crazy. I've never seen that photograph on the left-hand side. I've never seen that. But
is it on the left? The one that says real.
Yeah, I've seen the one on the left before. I've never seen that one that says real before. I've seen there's so many. If you when you get home, type in 4chan alien and you will find so many fake pictures. So who knows? I'm not saying that's real. I'm just saying there's so many pictures of that, with some of them are fucking reptilians. There's one that looks more like a grey. There's your little yellow fella at the side there. It's crazy, and it was just one of those things that's come up. I mean, when you think about the all of the, you can't say it, can you? The anonymous thing that was going on for a while, and they were using 4chan to post to there. When you think all that stuff was being posted to 4chan to begin with, and it never got taken down because of that. But one picture of a supposed alien goes up, and the whole site shuts down.
It's not even a good picture, though. That's what I don't get.
No, well, if it's that, I mean, for all we know, it could have been an actual grey sat there having a wank. It could have been like crystal clear 4K photograph that no one's ever seen before. But yeah, that's crazy. The 4chan thing, that's internet folklore if ever there was.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at it, there's no reason. I mean, I can't think of any reason why, if you took a picture of something that is of flesh and blood from a different planet, why the camera would do that distort, weird pixelated thing, unless that's where they've tried to re-download somebody's tried to hack it and re-download the image the original image that actually went out, and that's what they got back from that.
Or somebody's tried to recover it from their hard drive or something like that.
I mean, I know there'll be people. I think I already saw somebody mention it's a meme, but yeah, I agree completely. They've made a complete mockery out of it.
Yeah.
But how did it take an entire platform down, or is that just coincidence? Is it just did they just need to do some really?
I don't.
Maybe
maybe
4chan needed to do some maintenance that was going to take the platform down, and they thought, well, hang about, let's start some drama.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it could have been. I mean, it's never been down before, though.
Well, it's weird. Even if I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say it's weird because if the channel was actually pulled down because of this one photograph, it actually lends more credence to that particular photograph. If somebody's acting upon that in such a manner, there's obviously something for concern, or at least something to focus on within that photograph. So what is that exactly? Again, if it was the reason that 4chan went down that day.
I think I lead more towards. Oh, he's gone again. I lead more towards the side that 4chan did go down that day, but it was always going to go down for maybe some maintenance. And somebody at the top said, "Let's have a little bit of a laugh. Let's put this out. Let's make the world think that aliens took a selfie." But I will say this: we were talking briefly about elongated heads and people worshipping aliens with elongated heads, and you look at the Africa, not is African, I think it's Africa that did this originally, where they did the elongated heads, where they used to put the rope round the head, and you look at that head, the one that's supposedly real, and that to me looks very similar to what these people were doing when they were binding the heads.
Yep.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is, but it's probably a load of shite at the same time.
Probably.
I just wait to put that out there.
I'm just looking now on just the sheer amount of them.
Yeah, on 4chan, if you type in 4chan alien, the amount of that you get. Have you found that one? Yeah.
Yeah, I found that one, and then there's a few I'd never seen before. One which is like a proper grey, it looks like. But this was the thing when the buzz around that photograph came out, it was said it was a reptilian. That's all the people were talking about was it was like a reptilian style alien. Or
Need to ask David Icke.
Do you need to ask David Icke?
Oh, DarkHour's back in the house. There he is.
Sorry, keep losing you. I'm back though.
Are you still driving, mate?
I am, believe it or not.
As long as you keep an eye on the wheel, I don't care.
That's why I took the camera off, so I'm good to go.
Good man. Yeah, I mean, this 4chan thing it probably is just something that just gave it the platform a load of hype for when it went down for maintenance, but at the same time, I do find it intriguing that when you look at the one that says real and you do think back to ancient alien theorists about them binding the heads, it reminds you.
It's a very un-4chan thing to do, though, isn't it? To hype 4chan, you know. It exists as one of those things to like, and to do things like this, I suppose, to pump stuff out onto the internet for people to find and go fucking crazy with. But yeah,
the one that does stand out to me, I mean, whatever that is, if that 4chan one is real, which I don't think it is, but if it is, it's definitely a different species to whatever the greys are, because it doesn't look anything like.
No,
it just doesn't, does it? But John, going back to yourself with your experience, and I've brought up your little drawing you did of what you saw at the window, but Whitley Strieber, he depicted something very, very similar to you. Have you actually watched The Communion yet, or read the book?
No, I watched a couple highlights on YouTube, but
Wow.
I only watched maybe a minute or two. I didn't enjoy it too much.
Oh, man, how can you not watch it yet?
There was a book first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The original,
Yeah, it was.
and the original cover had a very specific picture of or an illustration of some sort of alien race. And I have come across many people who owned this book at one point or another and had reported very odd anomalies surrounded with that picture. And it was actually verified by somebody recently who's had 40 years in the field, said, yeah, that's something people have experienced. Have you guys heard anything about that?
No, but
No.
please do tell.
Essentially, I mean, I don't know more than what I've kind of just expressed, but when I was talking to Peter Moon, the author of the Montauk Chronicles recently, one of the people that we were with, my friend Brian Minnick, his wife had this book, and she brought this topic up. She said, yeah, this has been something that I've been thinking about for a long time. You know, I had this book, and it was a very strange time wherein I had a lot of odd experiences that I believe were associated with the picture. And Peter said, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And we'll sit down and we'll have a deeper conversation about that, because that's absolutely a phenomenon that's happened in so many words.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting. I have to look into it more, but I thought I'd bring it up in case you guys had heard of it.
Have you read the book?
I actually have not read the book. Not yet.
Have you, Rich? Have you?
I read the book.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. It's better than the movie.
The
Goes
movie's
into much
the
more
movie's
detail.
weird as hell. What? So there's one thing in that movie, and it's so the Cousins brothers. You must have heard their them talking about the little blue guys that came into the room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's little blue guys in that movie. Is that in the book? I've never read the book because I don't read, but
It is.
And do they depict them as a different species?
As the Greys. And there was just like in the movie, the little short, ugly man, ugly, scrunched up type of man looking thing. I think he called it, geez, I can't remember. But yeah, there was short, like a, stubby looking, like an eraser looking type of alien, then the Greys and tall Greys. It's all depicted in there.
So I've not read the book, Rich, but in the movie, he removes the Grey's face, and it underneath it's a so he grabs it, he grabs the face and removes it, and it's a mask, and underneath it's like a disgusting, weird looking thing that doesn't even really have features. But is that in the book?
I don't remember that being in the book.
I just found the reason why I asked that is because when John tells his story about them at the window having no features, it's almost like they're wearing mask. It's like a suit of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
featureless. John, what are you about to say?
I would agree with that. I mean, everything, the way I describe it, the way it looked, does look like something that was made, like possibly a mask, but I seen like the pores in the skin, like I can actually see the texture of the skin. Now, if their mask is covered with something like that, that might be a possibility. I don't know, but I could literally see their texture of their skin. So it wasn't like a plastic helmet or a metal helmet, unless they make helmets that are wrapped in skin. I have no idea, but I definitely saw pores and I saw the texture of the skin.
So it was a definite like skin, but just with no movement to it.
Yeah, not like it was just frozen. And the lack of any type of emotion at all was the weirdest thing to me. Like not even like a response or even like a slight movement of when I seen them. They didn't even budge when I turned my head. The whole situation is pretty amazing because from when I walked into that room until like everything blacked out might have been a minute and a half at the most, but it feels like it was like a half-hour event. So I seen everything I could possibly see as far as her face detail wise, and if it wasn't for the skin, I would think it could be a helmet or a mask. As perfect as her face was.
And it's still so curious to me. I mean, yeah, some of them human-like, wherein they almost resemble our physical form to a T, and yet there are these others who are supposedly quite enlightened, possibly draconian, reptilian in some form, or even Greys, wherein they have some sort of, I don't know, what we would consider spiritual enlightenment or knowledge about esoterics that we're just learning about. It's so strange to me, and maybe this is sort of an archaic idea, but it's so strange to me that which we have feared, those images that have brought us certain terror, are similar to what some of these look like. I mean, take the example that you guys just showed from the 4chan alien. Look how emaciated this thing looks. I mean, it looks like the angry, what was it? The painting, the angry man, just a big hole for a mouth, very expressionless eyes. These things look like something out of our worst nightmare. And yet at the same time, we're being told that they aren't. I just think it's very curious, even today.
I just sent you a photograph. I've just debunked the real alien picture.
Which one?
The real one, the one on the right. I've just debunked it. I found the 3D render for it.
Okay. Let me go get that.
Doing my best Houndland, Young Jamie effort?
So no.
The bottom one, the bottom image on those set of images is you can tell by the jawline, the back of the head. It's that one.
Okay, let me save this image. Let's bring it up. If this brings up somebody's boobs, it's Lee's fault. The thing is with this though, Lee, is that's I could see a little bit of the picture there. I'll bring it up for everybody. Why is it not saved?
It's the same thing. You can see the mouth that comes off up to the jawline, like where it looks like it's almost got a Joker smile.
Right.
You can see the line on it.
Where did this?
Oh, so I mean, I must say, unless somebody's gone to the trouble of making a 3D render of the real alien,
Because I used to, I literally used to debunk. That's all I did, debunk stuff. And now I kind of look at it from like a double-edged sword, because I sometimes see these things being debunked after when the shit hits the fan. But who's doing these debunks? Where's it come from?
oh, absolutely, yeah.
So that it's not very big. Again, it's covering you up, Lee. I do apologize.
That's okay. I can live with it. But yeah, that render down the bottom is definitely the real alien.
It's a different angle, though. It's definitely a different angle, though.
Yeah,
it's the same
3D.
angle.
It's a 3D model. Though. You can put in as many angles as you want, isn't it? I think it's done in Blender by the looks of it. Yeah, but that's definitely the same model, unless that's real and somebody's made a model out of it. But I don't know.
I'd have to speak to a special effects guy to see if that could be how that would be done. I'm sure you could do it, but no, I know
you could make an approximation. Yeah, you could make an approximation of it, but that to me looks like the same thing.
Yeah, but has this person come out and said I did this, or has this person come out and said I found the file?
I will try and find the site again.
This is the problem with the field, though, isn't it, Rich? You know, no matter what happens, you know, something could get debunked tomorrow, but then in a week later, you know, it could be back hot press.
Just like
That's
the
the
Admiral
problem.
Wilson files.
Yeah.
They're trying to bring those back to light. Richard Dolan.
That is true.
It's a frustrating field.
Yeah, it seems like everybody rushes to believe all the fake stuff.
Yeah.
Well, people aren't using critical thinking. They're thirsty, like I've said, in conversations past, for something. They want to drink something, so they drink it, see how it sits in their stomach before they even look at what they're drinking.
And also, guys like Dolan and Nick Pope, you know, these people still look up to them as truth tellers, so they can't do any wrong, no matter what you showing that they've hoaxed.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, that's why I said I might as well show the balloons and stuff that I have on video, because it seems like those are the things that get more views, and people seem to believe that more than they believe the real stuff.
Definitely, I agree with that.
So weird. It's reversed. It's backwards.
Why do you think that is?
Because people are desperate to believe something they don't understand. And when you tell them, hey, that's a string. No, it's not. That's a tail from the lizard people. Like, what? Wait, what? Where'd you come up with that? Well, if you read the literature, that's the lizard people. They can shapeshift and their tails. I'm like, oh my God. And this guy's got 200,000 followers. Are you kidding me?
Wouldn't
Look
you
at
agree?
Robert Bingham too.
Yeah, wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree though that the people up high, their listeners believe this? You know, there's
That's what I said
there's
before,
none.
isn't it?
Huh?
Go on, Lee.
That's what I said before. You know, where it's
Yeah.
like what we're looking at is, as far as like aliens and stuff like that. It feels like we're supposed to be talking about it. We're supposed to, if showing this stuff, what our minds are supposed to immediately go to, that's an extraterrestrial from X planet.
How many people that we know of other than John that you trust? So how many people have told a story about an alien grey now? And I know Travis was in that group, but you've now taken him out of the group. How many people do we trust that talk about the alien greys?
None.
Mm.
It's not
So
that I
what-
don't trust John. I trust John believes. He believes he's seeing what he's seeing, but till I need to see evidence. I need really good evidence. No offense to anybody out there who's had abductions or anything, but the evidence is the only thing that sells it for me.
Yeah, I could tell you I've got a dragon in my back garden, but you should be pretty skeptical about it until I show you his head.
Yeah.
I've got a dragon upstairs.
Oh.
Hey!
Hey.
Oh.
What are people like me supposed to do?
Just keep going, man. Just keep doing
If
what you're
ufology is full of shit and everybody doesn't want to believe everything, where does that leave people like me?
It leaves you, you may someday get something. That's why. And if it is real, because we don't know, I don't know, I'm not there, you're there. So you may catch something someday that can be irrefutable evidence, John.
Yeah, but also
But
keep in mind, John, too, that go ahead.
No, go.
I was just going to say, keep in mind, too, that we understand that a lot of these experiences are incredibly personal and anecdotal, and the intangibility of the nature of this really lends to that sort of understanding. If we do get some sort of very straightforward physical evidence that we can say without a shadow of a doubt, this is from some planet, this is something else, that's actually something very fortunate and not something to be taken for granted in our field. Wherein I think a lot of people, if they were presented with it, again, I keep coming back to this, I don't think we'd know it if we saw it. Unless you were there, unless you gathered the implant out of your own arm, sort of thing, there are a lot of people who are going to remain skeptical. And I have to say that I respect Rich's thoughts on this in the way that he wants to stay critical, because we need that too. You know what I mean? But again, keep in mind that a lot of this is experiential until a point. You come back with these physical wounds on your body, you come back with implants, you come back with pictures, film, whatever the case may be, that's another story. But up until that point, John, it's still real for you, brother.
Right.
Yeah,
Nobody can tell you that it isn't.
Right.
Yeah, but that conviction can be enough to motivate you to keep going. And whatever comes peripherally, whoever else is interested, you'll find the right people, bro. That's just the way it goes.
You've gone through what you've gone through very, very fast. You've had people give you help that a lot of people don't get right away. You've advanced quite quickly for what you're experiencing. So I see you've advanced 5 years forward in a year because of all the help you've had, and that you need to take into account. And just keep doing what you're doing. Like I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't share everything, but when I catch something on video, I share it. But I don't tell everybody about other stuff because it's useless. I mean, why bother telling everybody everything if I can't show you? So it's tough. It's the hardest thing on the planet you're going through. And with that said, I got to get going, Ollie. I got my show in an hour.
No worries, mate. No worries. That's fine.
Yeah, so I
Thanks.
got to get
Thank
ready
you for
for it.
joining us, Rich. And I've left Mr. GUFON's link in the description, so make sure you click on it. And you probably already subscribed, to be fair, but make sure you hit the bell.
Yeah, we're
The
going to be
thumbs up.
talking about how has Star Trek given us, things that we use today.
That's my type of show. I'm a big Trekkie, Rich. I love it.
It'll be fun. All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you.
See you
Everybody.
later.
Later,
Rich.
Rich. Catch you
Good
later.
to speak to you.
All right, take care. Giddy up.
John, I want to ask you this. So, knowing what you know now and how this has affected your life, but where you are now in your head after seeing these two things at your window, and just having the trauma that you, I don't know if you still sleep on your couch or not.
Mhm.
You do. Would you change that?
Yeah, in a second. Kidding me, dude? It freaking ruined my life for a long time. I would have changed it in a heartbeat. You know, and
That's a good question.
it's weird because when I did the interview with you for the first time, I thought I went through a lot of stuff at that point, experience wise. But it was like after I talked to you, man, we did our interview. It was the end. What's this? August. It was the end of last July, so it's like a little over a year. This past year has been literally jam packed, almost a daily basis of just unexplainable stuff. You know, a lot. It's to the point now, like I see shadow people almost every day with my own eyes. And I just look at them and just keep about my business. Like it's at the point now where I'm almost numb to all this stuff. It happens so frequently. It's crazy, man. And you know, it just bothers me. Like I don't know anybody else who collected as much evidence as me in such a short period of time, and everything just gets questioned, man. I feel like I'm just wasting my time, pretty much.
Does it frustrate you when so Rich just said then, I know you believe it, but I need the evidence. Does that frustrate you that others need the evidence to believe you?
It does frustrate me. I mean, Michael and you guys know how much stuff I've given you in this past year. You tell me everything I gave you can be explained. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if I shared one picture of something, maybe, but I mean, I have like a almost unlimited, like it's, even I had the paranormal investigation. There was evidence that came up in that as well recently. Like I'm constantly getting evidence, but it's just never good enough for anybody. There's always a doubt in everybody's mind, which I don't understand.
Again,
he's been doing this for like 17 years. I understand he's not wrong, but for me, it's just frustrating. He's been doing it for so long. I feel like I'm just unloading data for him, and it's just never. It's always something else. It's always a reflection or pareidolia or a dream, or you know. I don't get it.
Well, what you're doing, John, too, you got to keep in mind the big picture here. What you're doing is creating a library, a cache of all of your evidence and experiences, which, believe me, if it didn't come in the last year where you just gathered all of this, it may come in 10 years. It may come in 20 years. Hell, it might come after you die and people start taking note or able to place what you've experienced. What people don't understand is that there are people just like John out there. It's more of an often circumstance than not, believe it or not, where they're having these odd experiences, either being bothered by something externally or within dream. I mean, I've met and talked to so many people who have phenomenon happening to them 24 hours a day, the same way that John does. And of course, with that kind of evidence, most people get overwhelmed because they're trying to look through and they're looking for that smoking gun, which they shouldn't be, but that's what they're gravitated towards. Again, your evidence, everything that you've been compiling is relevant. And it just may not seem like that as a totality now or within the collective, but it will be, John. Mark my words, brother.
Mm.
This is not all for naught.
Yeah, but in my eyes, like some of the stuff that I've captured on film, like just literally just blows my mind away. Like sometimes I can't believe I have the stuff I have, but you know, it's I know Rich wants like a flesh and blood like alien selfie with me,
Don't
or
we
you know
all?
what I'm saying, or like a full blown, full figured ghost just strolling by on camera, something that's like, you know, but nobody else got that either. It's not like people are capturing pictures of aliens. I'm just missing out. I don't think it's something that can even happen in the first place. You know, that's why I got the security cameras in the first place, was to capture an abduction. You know, and that wasn't even my idea. That was somebody in Rich's chat who gave me that idea, I think. And I accidentally started capturing orbs. I just went down the rabbit hole. You know.
Yeah.
I think.
Well. Yeah.
No, go on, Michael.
So I was just gonna say, you know, in respect to what John's saying here, with the evidence that you have. Let's put it this way. Let's say I went out in the woods tomorrow, okay, and I caught a nice shot of Bigfoot out there amongst the trees. Okay, maybe you can't see every hair on his body, or you can't see the eye shine the way that you would normally expect, but right there in the photo, clearly there is a being that looks like a Sasquatch. Okay, and you know that I took this photo. Even though you guys know me and I have, my credibility as I've, built, there are going to be so many who say, oh, it's just a fake. Oh, it's a hoax. And they're going to dismiss it immediately. And yet right in front of them, they might be sitting on that smoking gun.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when you get the stuff that you have, and also remember that we're using archaic equipment in respect to trying to capture some of these frequencies. So it might not be that, we're missing out. It's that we're not using the right equipment because we don't have it. Time may change those things where we can capture them. But I think at that point, we're already making, it's not just a connection on the physical end where we're capturing things on video, let's say. It's also people connecting through, for example, CE5 or other ways, dreaming, being visited during meditation, making these other contacts. Now, I've talked to Michael Horn about this extensively. And the last correspondence I had with him, I did express that I felt that it was a little over the top, to use a different adjective, really, to say that Billy Meyer is the only one who has ever had contact. To me, that's just, it doesn't make sense. If this is a collective phenomenon, it would only stand to reason that these experiences would be had by many different people of varying ages, races, regions, you name it. We're not going out to the hills of Peru and talking to the people who've been there for hundreds of years in one particular culture. We're not going out to, Asia and speaking to the monks and saying, hey, what about the extraterrestrials? These guys might already know that this is real, and they may have already experienced it. And they don't need to hand you an artifact, for their own conviction. So in way, again, of your story, John, it's more powerful that it's something that is true for you, because that eventually will trickle out to other people, as it has already, but even bigger.
Yeah, I see that.
Yep.
It's just for the ufology, just in general, just by itself, without me involved in it, is frustrating.
Yes, it is.
And then trying to maneuver in it is even more frustrating, and then trying to find people that stories that I believe is difficult, I'm skeptical myself.
Sure.
Sure.
I got an email the other day from a guy that said he's got an incredible story, but he's got conditions to the interview that I blur him out and I change his voice. So I'm and he's not. So I've got back to him, and if you're watching now, you've still not got back to me. I'm willing to do the offline interview, but yeah, that intrigues me. If someone doesn't want anything, don't want to show themselves, but they have a great story.
You can't blame them for that either.
No, you can't, and I applaud you, John, for doing that, because I remember it reminded me when I first got in touch with you, and you said, "Look, I don't really want to. I just wanted to tell you my story." You was kind of just reaching out for a bit of, for somebody who's kind of in the field. Like I've said before, I'm no ufologist. I find this subject interesting, but I'm not the one to give anybody closure. And I don't think anybody can. I don't think there's any person out there. I don't care if you're the Dolans of this world, the Greers of this world, the Alessandros. There's nobody that will give you closure on this subject ever, because nobody has the answers. We're looking, we're all searching, but none of us have the answers. Lee?
Well, we'll look at what's come out with like the Club L stuff and things like that. It's regardless of, if you just take out what it is for now, but all of a sudden, because it had mainstream like focus, it's a bit like people on the, so say, for want of better words, amateur side of it, want to debunk that and say that's fake. That's not real. Whereas on the lead up to that, all people wanted was government, especially from the American government, wanted acknowledgement of this. But as soon as the acknowledgement came, it was instantly discredited. And that's just the way it's always going to be, unless something happens, like a spaceship lands somewhere and things get out of it, or it is demons and a fucking hellhole opens somewhere and things start crawling out. Until something like that happens, it's all we have is lights. And I think that's the depressing thing about it all.
That's why I think this whole thing's almost like a program. Because, I mean, I would say they operated pretty well. They don't make too many mistakes as far as I can tell. So it seems like they're a well-oiled machine,
That's funny you bring that up, John, because I've often heard, and this is coming from other, more than one source here, that if we do see a craft in the sky that does belong to an extraterrestrial race, a couple things have happened. One, the technology that they're working with has malfunctioned. Two, somebody has accidentally hit the cloaking technology off, so it's an operator error. Or three, there's something else in the way of nebulous technology that we don't understand that somehow, again, malfunctioned. These were the 2 to 3 different reasons that I have heard that we would, see something that belonged to them in the skies. Again, if that's true, if they are cloaked sitting up above our planet in one way, shape, or form, I mean, they may be 200 feet above me right now. I just can't see it. They could be 1,000 feet. We don't know. But however they work, if they are in the air, our commercial airlines are able to fly right through them, I'm sure.
I think censorship is something we should look at as well here, because we can quite happily have these conversations for hours on end, as we are doing, and talk in depth about greys coming from different planets, abducting people, performing experiments on them. But if we start talking about like the secret religion, we'll just leave it at that. Ollie's channel gets in trouble. Do you know what I mean? There's certain subjects that if you start saying keywords, trouble happens. So for me, the things we're not allowed to talk about because the great electronic sensors get upset, they have much more credence now than what we are allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I came on this platform originally, and I thought I might make a YouTube channel, is because I thought I can speak my mind about anything that I want.
Right.
I'd love us to do one of these. I would love us to do one of these on something.
Yeah, that'd
else.
be on BitChute.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can live stream on that though, can you?
You can't. It's such a shame.
But I'd love to do one of those so I could fucking let rip and talk about exactly what I think's going on. The chat knows. They some of them get me.
I think a lot of us are, even David Wilcock here, David Wilcox in the house.
Yeah,
If it is David Wilcock,
exactly.
So I think somebody's just got a fetish for making up. I wonder if I don't think they'll make up an alien addict. Can you imagine if Alien Addict was talking to an alien addict?
Can you imagine?
They'd have to spell everything wrong in the comment section if it was me.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to create a fake alien account and go on other channels, if you spell everything wrong, then they might think it's me.
These people in the chat are ridiculous.
I don't.
You got people threatening me, saying they're posting pictures of me on Twitter.
Who's posted pictures of you on Twitter?
The
Stephen
guy
Greer?
who got the Stephen Greer Corbell guy does all the fake accounts.
Stephen Greer, we know you're not Stephen Greer. Can you just kindly change your name to somebody else? Or Rich, just block them.
Hang on. I'm going to say one thing about Stephen Greer, okay, in respect to this.
I don't think that's Stephen Greer.
No, it's not him.
Greer?
No, it may not be, but I'm going to say one thing, and that is when Third Phase of Moon was talking to Stephen just before we went out to California, they were encouraging him to come into the chats and talk, and participate. So he started doing that, and I saw him on your channel. I saw him on Dark Sky. I've seen him on a lot of different channels. And then one episode happened on Rich's show, and I'm sure whoever was there will remember this. He had said or typed into the chat, "Check your phone." Rich checked the phone. He didn't see anything there. Didn't think anything of it. One of the moderators took it upon themselves to kick Greer out of the chat. It actually was Greer. I don't know if he's in the chat
Rich,
now, but
Rich, don't block Greer yet. But has Greer offended you, John?
No, not him. It's the guy who does. Someone who's imitating all the mainstream.
So maybe that is Stephen Greer. I don't know if Stephen. If it's you, we really do. We love you over Alien Addicts. Trying to find the fucking bit delayed, but we love you, Stephen.
Stephen, if it's you, sell us something so we know it's you.
Steve, if it's
You're
you,
a good guy, Steve.
if it's you, email me. I'll interview you, and I'll pay you with a magazine from 1995.
Priceless.
But I don't care about the trolls, but I do when they affect the guest or they affect the people in the chat. If they can call me what they want, I really don't care. But when you start calling my guests out, and you start being nasty to them, or you start being nasty to other people in the chat, or disrespectful to women, to people of the opposite sex, that's the same thing, to people that whatever I want to say. If you start being disrespectful, homophobic, racist, whatever, then my mods will block you. They will. I won't, because I probably won't see it, because it's hard for me to read a chat, because I'm slightly affected at birth. I think I was starved of oxygen, hence the reason why I can't read properly. But I just don't like it when people start to become aggressive to other. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But I feel sorry for these people at the same time, because something's obviously gone fucking wrong in their life for them to think I need to attack this person on this channel, or I need to attack this other person in the chat because they've said something that I disagree with. I'm sorry to say, but none of us are experts when it comes to fucking aliens, unless you fucked one.
And it's a cat. Wasn't that you guessed? The cat one.
Yeah, that's what they do with me. They always disguise themselves as cats just because they know it turns me on. Bastards.
I'm holding my tongue.
Yeah. But no, I'm not going to keep this show going for much longer, because my back is going to give in. It's absolutely burning like shit right now because I've had a bad back. DarkHour had a bad back. I'm 40
I know
years
it.
old. You get a bad back.
Sorry.
Hey, Ollie, I'll be 40 on September 10th, buddy. I'm about to join you, pal. And believe me, I know the back issues.
Rich just posted up in the chat saying, if it is Greer, what's my safe word? Only Greer knows my safe word.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, that broke me.
Brilliant.
We do love you, Stephen. We really
Now I
do.
want to know what it is.
More.
That's funny.
Well,
Calm
all right.
down with
So,
them hands.
Ollie, I want to thank you. Ollie, I want to thank you for having me on, brother. Sorry I wasn't
No,
in the
thank you for
studio
coming on, mate.
when I got a chance to pop on. You know,
No, I appreciate you coming on, mate.
I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. We need to do a show. We need to get the cousins back on. I think maybe get the cousins on with Tyler. That would be a
Oh, Jesus.
that would be a show and a half.
I sure would. That'd be I don't know how much that would accomplish, and I think you know why.
Yeah,
with Tyler.
I wouldn't even be a mod for that show. I'll skip that. That'd be too much work. People would be going nuts.
I need to get more mods. I do. But listen, I need mods that I can trust, and I trust most of the people in the chat. But I want mods that won't just block anybody for just like telling me I'm a dickhead, because I don't want that.
Right, exactly.
So you guys are gonna have to like message me privately and tell me who's not sensitive to, because I can take it. You know, I don't need people to stick up for me. I only need people to mod for either the guests or people being disrespectful to the other people in the chat.
Yeah, I agree. But you know, when they disrupt the chat and everyone's like, you know, basically dealing with the troll the whole time and not the show, it's a little bit of an issue sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I
couldn't even picture myself doing that, like trolling somebody. Like, that's so much better. Like, I don't get it. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it.
When
like some of these people got some hate too. Like they really like dislike some of us.
It's fine. It's probably my beard or something. Maybe it's I'm too pasty, or you know, they just want to. They're just bored. But if you're bored, don't watch this show because it's not fucking boring. Like, share, and subscribe, people.
That's right.
Color with friends.
Michael, thank you for joining us. Have you got a show later on today?
Yes, I have a show tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, and I'll have the Phantom Detectives on, the group that actually investigated John's apartment recently. So that's going to be interesting tonight.
Go check out DarkHour Paranormal in the description, people.
What time is that? 10 o'clock Eastern Time?
Sorry, I'm cutting out if you're talking to me. I can't hear you.
Did you say it was 10 p.m. Eastern Time?
Yes, there we go. Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Phantom Detectives, same guys that came in did John's. Eastern Time.
They did a good job.
They did, and we're going to talk about that at length tonight.
Yeah, they just gave me their report of the evidence they found. It's pretty nice. Have you seen the picture yet? They took.
Go over that with you sometime, John.
Yeah, I'll just send it to you. But yeah, they took a pretty cool thermal picture. I'm sure they'll share with you tonight.
I gotta see that.
I sent it to you.
Oh, no, you did. Yes, you did.
The little being with the eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, come on. That's pretty good proof of something, I would say. I mean, the thing's just standing there in between, like next to somebody. Like you can see almost the whole body and everything. It's crazy. I remember when he recorded that. It looks
different to what the stuff that you've recorded, though.
Totally different, as usual, right? But It's weird because it was so dark. Like that spot was just so cold. And I remember Josh when he picked it up on the thermal camera, he was like, "Oh, I got something! I got something!" He ran to the bedroom and told us, but I didn't see the picture until like a week later. But I think it's pretty awesome. I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that evidence. You know.
I need to watch this. You need to send the link. Put it in the chat. I need to watch this because I haven't. I've literally been working my ass off recently with the actual day job, so it's hard to watch long shows. So I need to see this. If you send it to me, we will pop it in the. Oh, John, you're a mod. Pop it in the chat. Let the people go see it.
See what?
The investigation you did.
Oh yeah, that was actually Michael did that on his channel. Michael and
Yeah.
Rich actually hosted. Yeah,
Yeah.
I put it in the chat.
But
Yeah,
I don't
thank God they were there. They like saved my
But
life.
you're a mod, so you'll be able to put it the description in the channel. Pop it in for them to check
Oh,
it
nice.
out.
All right.
That way they can head over to Michael because he's just about to do a show. You're welcome.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, guy. I'm gonna let you go though. My internet gets a bit spotty here.
No
I want to at
worries,
least
mate.
be able to say goodbye to you. Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I will see you later on.
See you later.
See you
Yeah, I'll
later,
see you in a
mate.
couple hours.
All right, cheers, bro.
Sorry, mate. All right. So, boys, before we kick off, as in not kick off like dickheads, but we just kick off as in we're gonna end the show.
Wrap it up.
Betty Bose.
I want to speak a little bit because we're leading on into Lee's channel. When I want to, yes, we are. I want to show you with permission, Lee. I'd like to play, and I like to have the going out video being the Skinny Bob video that you did with the analysis that you did.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I saw that. That's pretty good.
yeah,
Oh,
very well
thank
done,
you.
wasn't it? But there's one thing in that Skinny Bob video. So for anybody, I've done a few Skinny Bob videos, and I still get comments to this day, people being quite aggressive, quite hostile, saying that Skinny Bob is a real fucking alien.
Mm.
They get really angry that they say this little bastard wearing a turtleneck sweater is a real alien. So I think it's extremely well done. But Lee, I'm not gonna blow my load on here because you're gonna actually your little video will explain a lot of stuff. But it's very well done. I will say something. I don't believe a lot of the footage. There's one tiny little clip in that piece of footage when I don't know if you noticed when you were editing the video, but there is, John, you may disappear here. I do apologize.
No problem.
But there is. Do you remember this?
Yep.
So a guy who does special effects analyzed the Skinny Bob video. He also did the TikTok videos, and he tried to recreate it. He did a really good job. Really good. Was it the Flare one? I'll go for yeah. It was one of them anyway. I think it was Flare. The gimbal one that he did. But he also did the Skinny Bob video a few months after, and he said after analyzing the Skinny Bob video, you could see that a few filters have been put over Skinny Bob. But he said there's one clip in that little medley where you see the UFOs, you see the few of them walking as a family, and then you see this crash site with this one alien gray. And he said the grain and everything from this was natural, along with the timestamp as well. So I don't know if you took anything from that when you were doing your edit.
I only noticed the fact that if you speed it up, it feels like it's like going at a proper time. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether it's. I don't know why the footage would be slowed down. What I would point out with that is you can already see that this has the same filter on it that the everything else does, as far as the stuff. If it's old, if it's not old, do you know what I mean? The same sort of projection marks. I mean, when I was looking at it, I looked at it for quite a while doing that. None of it looks different to me. You know, none of it. But again, I'm not a special effects guy, and I was pretty on the fence of what I think it was because I didn't think when I was putting that video together, I didn't really think my opinion on it made much
It
difference.
matters.
Mm.
It matters,
You know
Lee.
what?
I think it's CGI.
I didn't know it was slowed down either, and I always said the way the eyes blinked debunked it immediately. But when you sped it up and the eyes blinked, I still think it's fake, but it looked more realistic when you sped it up.
Yeah, I don't know why. What benefit it would be to slow it down. What I would wonder is, and this would be for someone that knows about, especially back then, like computer animation, would it be slowed down because the render time would be easier? If you were rendering less frames, would it take less horsepower?
Quite possibly, yeah. But I'm not an expert when it comes to that.
I'm not.
I have edited a lot of videos.
Yeah.
And when there's a lot of frames, especially if you're taking something off the internet that is like 60 frames per second and it's in like 4K or whatever, when you're taking something off, and I have taken stuff off there that's like really good, like imagery.
Yeah.
And the processing that it takes, I mean, you'll know, Lee, that when you're trying to compress it.
But the thing is, you're not just dealing with video files there. You're working with 3D renders as well, and that is fucking hardcore.
When I used to edit a interview after I'd finished putting all the stuff in, you were talking like 90 odd gig. I'm no word of a lie.
No,
it's
crazy.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. So that when people said to me, why don't you do the interviews like you used to do them, where you used to put all the different edits in with stuff like that? It took me a week to do one interview that I would do from now doing it on StreamYard. I love doing it on there. I loved editing them. I found it amazing. And if somebody ever wants to come on, they want to be private, I will go back to doing that. But it takes about a week to do it, because I can't help myself by putting imagery in and what have you. And you got to, even when I compress it, it compresses down to about 7 gig. So yeah, I can kind of understand that, Lee, when it's been slowed down to less frames per second. Maybe that works. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but it makes.
Know. It's something I thought about after I'd done the video, is whether that would make any difference. But then again, that doesn't explain why it looks more natural when it's sped up. You know, but it does seem to look more natural when it's sped up. I need to do something else like that. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, mate. You need to do more on some alien stuff. People. I mean, I know. Wait, you say it's not your thing, but it is your thing.
Everything's my thing. I just like the sound of my own voice.
Just anything conspiracy or anything just weird.
You can't do conspiracy stuff on YouTube anymore because they throw you off it.
Well, why don't you just try and just do whatever you can to get thrown off, and we'll see how long it takes.
Just see how long it takes. I'll tell you how long it will take, because I did
subscribe to Musty Audio. It won't take you long to be unsubscribed.
I did one thing.
Yeah, I know you did. We're not going to speak about it. You're not going to speak about it.
Absolutely not.
The
overlords weren't happy. I did see someone mention there that apparently you can live stream on Rumble. I don't know what Rumble is.
It sounds like a sex channel.
That's why I'm in.
True story. I once found out as a teenager that I'd been subscribed to a soft core sex channel. still with I was with the wife at the time. I got a little bit bored with the lads, and I put some sort of rant. Do you know what Sky Television is, John? A bit like cable. I put
I've
some.
heard of it, yeah.
There was this thing called RedTube, which is just not pornographic material at all. It's just like watching like paint dry. But I pressed on it, and then weirdly enough, 2 years down the line, my wife were like, "What's this that keeps coming out of your account for £6.99 a month?" Been paying it for 2 fucking years.
It's
I'm
amazing.
like, holy fucking shit.
Don't
That
you
one
stop subscribing to my OnlyFans.
Yeah, that one time when you just put some on when you're pissed. It's cost you fucking probably a holiday.
I just
in the
spent
long run.
100. Yeah, I just spent £100, but for the year's subscription to the Edge of Wonder thing, which I didn't want to do. It's just also renewed. I used to like Edge of Wonder.
I don't even know what it is.
They were another like conspiracy channel that got burned off YouTube.
Oh right.
They were good.
But obviously not good enough to pay for now.
No, because it all changed. Because even there, they were doing a lot of the letter guy thing, and
right,
yeah, and they, even though they had their own website and their own private host, they got chucked off their host because of what they were putting up.
Right.
And they've changed the name now. It's just not as good. I mean, to be fair, it's their business, it's their livelihood, so they're being safe about it. You know,
I get it. I get it.
But
the thing is, this is the thing, and we're talking about the 4chan thing. If ever a picture of an actual real alien did submerge, you know, how quickly would they manage to get rid of it? And how many of us would be made to look like idiots?
Who knows?
Anyway, I'm gonna John, your Wreaking Havoc.
Yes.
Your channel is in the description. It is below.
Sir.
When are you next going to give us some content? You sexy man.
I have no idea.
You're just taking it as it goes, aren't you? The thing is with John,
nothing's planned. Just go with the flow. Still working on the orb project. I got people actually looking over some of the videos for the project, and they've been counting the orbs and time stamping them, and there's been hundreds and hundreds of orbs per video. So it's a long process, but that's coming together hopefully soon. But you know, when that's all said and done, it's not gonna make a difference anyway.
What we see, mate. You know, the more people get these bits of evidence together, you know, and the shadow figure one is quite amazing. It's interesting.
I think so.
Also, the original interview, I haven't linked it, but guys, go check it out. It is called, John, what's the original interview called that I did with you? I can't remember.
I think Abductee speaks for the first time, or Abductee talks for the first time, something like that.
It had the thumbnail, if you don't mind ducking, John, is that's the thumbnail for the video that I did, the interview that I did with John. It was your first ever interview. And a lot, like I say, a lot of my friends, my family's watched that, and all of them are like, this guy. This guy's
a good decision. Good decision for you to come on.
And and anybody that watches that now after the show, immediately after the show, will realize that you are a totally different person. Totally different person to that person that I interviewed. But yeah, go check out Wreaking Havoc. His channel is in the description. And Lee, I'm gonna play your video.
I'm gonna have to listen to my own voice, aren't I?
You are gonna have to listen to your own voice. But you know, it's I have no idea what accent you've got, but it's
I have no idea. Anyway, it's a mongrel accent.
I like mongrels, especially mongrel women.
Go subscribe to my audio. Bye.
Without further ado,
Yes.
let's share it. And if the music sounds weird, it's StreamYard that does that. It's not Lee's. Go check out the original. It sounds weird. But good night, God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. You've all been beautiful. You've all been emotional. And the trolls, I would absolutely tongue your assholes. So go fuck yourself. Good night, God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite.
Oh, fuck, we're still here.
We are still here because I just needed to see your face after I've just told trolls that I was tongue their assholes.
Welcome to the Vault. On this channel, we're going to examine the strange, fantastical elements that make up our world, subjects that defy logic, baffle science, and question the very fabric of our reality. We start with a decade-old enigma, one that's etched itself into the foundations of YouTube lore, and a mystery that's never far from the UFO zeitgeist. On the 14th of April 2011, a channel called Ivan0135 published a video called Disclosure Leaked UFO Alien Case Video Confidential Documents Old Footage. Quite the snappy title. The 47-second video starts with what seems to be the KGB logo, with the title, time, and date obscured. The first scene shows what seems to be a classic UFO. It's filmed from the ground before we cut to an airplane filming it from above. We then cut to what looks like straight out of your Alien Visitor Handbook grey, before showing us what looks like a crashed disc and a dead alien grey lying on the ground. The final cut is hard to make out. It seems to be some sort of autopsy or medical procedure that's eerily similar to the 1995 Ray Santilli alien autopsy, a feature video in its own right. The second video, and the reason this stays so long in the mind, shows a similar being from the first video, standing, wearing black coveralls. During the research for this video, I realized how slow the timestamp at the left-hand corner was. It seemed to be almost half time. So by speeding the video up to 1.5 times, it gave a more natural speed, something closer to what we would think of as seconds and minutes. The head movements now seem jerky, frustrated, almost insect-like, but the blinking looks smoother to me. It looks less animated and more like a living, breathing creature. At this point, it's easy to try and write this off as CGI. Very good CGI, but CGI nevertheless. Unfortunately, there's a point to remember. This video is a decade old, and in 2011, CGI was hardly basic, but it's difficult to conceive somebody making this at home on a consumer PC before tools like Blender and Unreal Engine were so user-friendly and ubiquitous amongst PC users. Subsequently, James Fox, director and producer of The Phenomena and the infamous I Know What I Saw, showed the footage to the children from the aerial school encounter, where a craft was said to land and beings made contact with several children. The children confirmed that the beings they saw looked like Skinny Bob. This mystery has spanned a decade. It'll probably span another decade unless more footage comes to light or Ivan0135 comes forward to authenticate it. Be it real or fake, it's still one of the most convincing things we've ever seen. Be it one of the most convincing hoaxes, or the smoking gun ufologists have been waiting for years. For more content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell.